All right, y'all, we back, man. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing help up, better understanding self. Yeah, we're gonna put together a show. I got Fannie Willis, a little bit of what Jasmine Crockett and APAC going on. We doing politics, black politicians. We holding them accountable. But I'm gonna open up the line. I'm gonna open up the chat after that. Hear what y'all gotta say. But first, I'm gonna go in. Fannie, Jasmine, and Kamala. But I appreciate everybody who's been tapped in with me, subscribe to the channel, man, been pushing with me this far. Salute to you. Well, yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm gonna open up the chat after these videos, so y'all be ready. I want to hear y'all opinion.
County District Attorney Fannie Willis is voluntarily testifying before a state Senate committee. Thanks for being with us on Atlanta News First at noon. I'm Brooks Baptiste.
And I'm Syria Sandlin. They've been investigating the now dropped election indictment against President Donald Trump regarding the 2020 election. Atlanta News First, Sarah Hammond is live from the state capitol. So Sarah, fill us in on the first few hours of that testimony.
Well, this has been quite a contentious morning between DA Fannie Willis and this GOP-led Senate Committee on Investigations. And this testimony that's still going on here right now has been about 2 years in the making. So this morning, Willis arrived just before 10 o'clock and has taken questions from this committee with her attorney, former Governor Roy Barnes. And most of the morning was spent talking about Willis's background as an attorney, her office's findings.
She came in the courtroom with a mink on. Y'all seen that? She came in there with a mink.
And when she decided to bring charges against former President Donald Trump. And the committee as a whole is grilling Willis about her relationship with the election indictment's top prosecutor, Nathan Wade. They claim she may have financially benefited from putting him at the helm of this case as the two vacationed together during the investigation. And the morning has held some tense moments between the GOP-led committee and Willis on what questions she would and would not answer.
When did you begin to consider whether to bring charges in response to the 2020 presidential election in Georgia?
Don't answer that. That's a deliberative privilege. Don't answer that. I instruct you not to answer.
Is it true that part of your transition team was involved in the process of interviewing people before you entered office to lead the investigation into the 2020 presidential election?
I'd like to answer that.
Go right ahead. You only take my advice sometimes anyway. Go ahead.
That's really an ignorant question. And if you understand what the word ignorant means, it means the lack of knowledge. If you recall the facts, I was already district attorney when this all came to light. So it's factually impossible.
You were district attorney when what came to light?
When Raffensperger went on Good Morning America or whatever show he went on. I was already district attorney. So what you ask is a factual impossibility. Now, I know they've gotten black folks confused and said I was running for office, saying I was going to prosecute the president of the United States, but that's what we call a lie.
Okay. I would like to.
From here on out, okay?
My name is Jay Prang, 55 years old from Atlanta, Georgia. I think as you get older, you do tend to have.
Yeah.
So y'all, your girl, she was just warming up. It did look like they had caught her in a lie, but again, you just needed. And listen, the questioner,
the chat.
He tried, y'all, but he didn't seem like either he didn't have the facts, he didn't have the data, or he just didn't have the something to take Fannie on.
And it was asked for the search committee. You said that began when DA Willis took office on January 1, 2021. Is that correct? Yes. And there was outreach to you to be part of the search committee prior to January 1, 2021. Absolutely. When did that start? Sometime after the election, but prior to her taking office. Okay, so between the election, you're referring to November 2020 election, is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And so when you had conversations with individuals, you said on multiple occasions, you said no, and you turned down the position. Who were those conversations with? They were with the district attorney.
So I think you're confusing facts. We've already had a long conversation about, I interviewed everybody at the DA's office, and I interviewed other people to come and work at the district attorney's office. And as I told you, I did that on my free time before I became DA. But I had no way of knowing that these criminals were going to commit a crime. And that did not come to light until January of 2021 when I'm actually the DA. So it is a factual impossibility, like I already told you. I think that that is misinterpreted. He's absolutely correct. We looked for talent for the district attorney's office before I became the DA. I didn't wait till the day I took office to look for talent that would represent my office. But I was unable to look for talent for a case that didn't exist before I took office. It's factually impossible. It's common sense. You don't need to be a lawyer.
So I thought today was going to be mostly about Fonnie and Nathan Wade and the committee trying to determine the types of laws or policies, procedures, rules, regulations, something that they could put in place to prevent the chookiness and the chooky from causing the public to lose trust in the future. But they really did not go there. No. Maybe that was outside of the scope of agreed upon questions. But that really seemed to have left a big hole in the entire need for this testimony.
What was when Mr. Wade says that there was an interview on line 13, as you'll see here, this is prior to you entering office. What were you interviewing him for?
I didn't interview him prior to him entering office. He had a thriving law practice. Even when he ends up being offered the position, he doesn't want it.
Okay, now. So it's your testimony today that you and Mr. Wade did not have any conversations prior to you taking office relative to an investigation into the 2020 election.
Don't answer that. That is a deliberative privilege of what goes on in a district attorney's mind and the process it goes.
She wasn't district attorney.
She was.
Prior to being sworn in, she was district attorney?
No, she was not, but you asked.
I'll return to my question. Prior to you being sworn in as district attorney, is it your testimony today that you did not have any conversation with Mr. Wade about investigating the 2020 election?
Corey Green, what's good? Family in the building.
It's a dumbass question.
I know it is, but go ahead and tell him because it occurred after she took office. But
I didn't know that he was going to commit a crime prior to me taking office. Like factual.
Y'all, I'm gonna open up the chat about this after this. I want to know what y'all think about this too, though. But we in here, we in the building, man. I appreciate y'all. Let's get it.
Actually, it's impossible.
Okay, thank you.
Fonnie's attorney, who is a previous governor of the state of Georgia. Yes, her current attorney is a former Georgia state governor. He intervened sparingly. You know, you have to give him his due. He didn't jump out there too often. And he was pretty lighthearted with his rebuttals, but he did jump in from time to time, and that made for some of the more interesting backs and forth during the entire testimony.
And we are very improperly funded. If this committee wants to do some real work, it'll get serious about crime fighting among this state. From every rural community to I'm answering my question.
I'm good. That's not the answer to the question.
Okay, well, if this committee wants to get serious about legislation to make the communities in the state of Georgia safer, they will invest more money in every district attorney's office across this state. That's the rural DAs need more.
I don't like this. I gotta stop her right there. This woman just said, if we wanna, y'all hit that like button. If we wanna fight, if they wanna help out Georgia, and I'm from Florida, not from Georgia, but they need to invest in the district attorney's office. Now, I've been following this lady in this case, and she's been asking the state for more and more money. She charged about, I think it was $5-6 million she wanted from the state just for prosecuting Trump. It looks like it's a money trail. Now, we can't see the books, and this is what FBA we starting to really understand. We want to see the books. We want to see what's going on and who doing what, but For right now, listen to what she's saying.
The middle size, the residentials, and the big cities like Atlanta, all of us need more resources to be able to do our job appropriately. And it is a joke the way that these people are funded that are dedicating their lives to public service. Also, I want to go back to, because it's
the jails, number one, she need to speak about how like the jails didn't even have no food in Fulton County. It's like it's a whole bunch of trash going on in that city, and it's because it's a lot of people got their hand in the pot and the money is not trickling down to the people, but they think we crazy. She want the state to invest more money in putting people in jail, which we know jails is getting a little empty. So her rhetoric ain't even for the people, giving the people their money, and
this is extremely important, and you have the power to do it. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation
Madam DA,
cannot
I
take
did
rape
not ask you
kids.
for advice on what the legislature
You
should
asked
do.
Exactly what the resolution said, to take advice on legislation.
And we will get to that time.
You answer the question, she has a right to fully answer.
And if she would answer the question, Governor, I would not be saying it. She's pontificating on everything from rape kits, which was what she was about to get into. The question was the amount of money that came from state funds and county funds. And if she doesn't know the answer to that question, the answer is I don't know. The question isn't let me talk. The answer isn't let me talk about rape kits. So I'll get back to the line of questioning. I'm going to give you latitude here, Madam DA, but I same way in a courtroom, there are guardrails as to what we need to stay in and within. Indeed, Governor, and this is not a courtroom.
To make evidentiary rulings, and you don't have the power.
I have plenary power, Governor, to conduct the meeting.
No, sir,
Absolutely.
You do not have plenary power. I know you think you do, and that you're above the law, but you are not. If you want to cite her for contempt,
Governor,
she is entitled to a jury trial, and I can examine you on your actions, and I can examine you on your motives. Then I will be glad to take that, as Clint Eastwood would say, make my day.
We know the motives. He's on the ballot.
Governor, this is
a witch hunt.
This is a hearing of the Senate Special Committee on Investigations.
I'm not worried about those that you convicted illegally and locked up.
Yeah.
Why is it that you run ads?
We're going to go on to our next question. How are the funds? You say that we give you the money, and I know that's a loose term, and that flows into the Fulton County coffers, so to speak. And when you remit payment, you do that through the Fulton County accounting system. Is that correct?
One of the main themes of this testimony from Fani's side is that she is a valiant, brave, valuable public defender and public servant, and that she has done nothing but suffer at the hands of the other side. You know who that side is, right? That she's done nothing but suffer for all of the good that she's attempted to do.
I don't review those documents, so you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that I only allowed Mr. Wade to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45. He got there before the.
No, I ain't going for this. 160 hours a week? No, bro. I ain't going for that. I'm not going for that, bro. She billed that man 160 hours a week. I'm gonna let it go. I just can't even believe it. A 160 hours a week she built.
And he left after him. He taught them how to do this case, and he was a leader to that team and a public servant. And for that, him like me has been threatened thousands of times. You want something to investigate as a legislature? Investigate how many times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you investigate that? Why don't you investigate them writing on my house? Why don't you investigate the fact that my house has been swatted? If you want something to do with your time that makes sense, and you can use all this in your campaign ad.
Now listen, why I feel like she built them 100 and 60 hours a week. She was paying for her and him. We both finna get this money. 80 for me, 80 for you. What y'all think? No one in public service works alone. Bro, you can't even drive a truck. You can't even work. It's a certain amount of time that you can work, bro. You got to go to sleep. It's only 24 hours in a day. It's only 24 hours in a day, family. They ain't trying to give us nothing. This is what I'm saying. Deflection tax. But she lying. She paid him for personal services. Bro, ain't nobody working no 160 hours a week. You can't tell me that. You can't pee on me and tell me it's raining, bro. You won't even let nobody work 100. If Fannie was paying that, she would never let nobody work 160 hours. It's not that much work. We ain't on a crunch time and building a house or nothing right now. Like, what are we doing? Let me let her cook, but this is unbelievable.
You attacked Fonnie Willis. What have you done, sir? Nothing.
So I'm going to refer you to the screen. I know you said you don't approve.
I don't look at this. I've never
bills.
seen it. So I can't talk to you about documents I don't approve and don't review. Can't talk to you about it.
Who does approve the documents in your office when invoices come in?
I thought we'd been through this.
I don't believe you said who reviews the invoices and approves the invoices in your office.
First of all, I have no firsthand knowledge of it.
You have no firsthand knowledge.
You want me to testify about something I don't have any firsthand knowledge of?
I'm asking.
Are you asking me to speculate? Because I've clearly told you I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it, and I'm not going to speculate.
The question is, when an invoice comes into your office from a special assistant district attorney, what is the review process for that invoice before it's paid?
And she's answered this. She said she has a deputy of operations, and he reviews, or she reviews, and then it goes through the county. So it's a repetitive question.
What's the name of the deputy of operations?
The question has been asked and answered, and I believe it goes straight to the county, so I'm not sure.
Things got so bad, y'all, with Fonnie running off and just basically taking this entire conference over. She took it over, y'all. She made it her own. And it got so bad that they actually cut her mic off when she was on a rant and a ramble about something that was totally off topic. They actually had to shut her mic off, y'all. You're going to see that here. They had to shut her mic off because, again, she just took over.
$52,000 in attorney's fees. I've done initial $52 million in attorney's fees with the top recipient in that year, initials AF. I've taken off their name at $3,593,000. That was for 2020. In 2021, again, in excess of $52 million, with the top one in that year being AD as the initials, $2,673,000. I should note the great Josh Belafonte was one of the recipients that year, and he made $1.3 million in 2021. In 2022, the AG's office spit on special prosecutors $55 million. DS being the top recipient for that year, $2 million, $200,000. Josh Belafonte made $911,000. In 2023, the AG's office spent $65 million with the top recipient making $5 million, initials MR, and I'm going to finish. And 2024, the top recipient was MR, and they made $4.6 million. And then let's not leave off 2020.
All right, we're going to move on to the next question here.
By the AG on special prosecutors, with the top recipient MR making $8,181,421,000. And y'all are talking to me about pennies. Right, and I have a copy for the press 50 if you like them.
And I'd like this included in the record.
All right, we're going to move on to our next question here.
Relevant since you
Danny said she's taking everybody down with her. She ain't going down.
That's for the press.
All right, I want to refer your attention to the screen.
And in case you wonder why the vice chair was in charge of this instead of Bill Cowsert, who's the chair, he apparently had a medical procedure and he could not be there. And Fonnie took her opportunity even to take several digs at him, y'all. She was unleashed, y'all. It was a total SHI Young Teasy show, if you know what I mean.
And it's your testimony today that the travel to Athens conference with the White House counsel, as far as you were aware, was due to a part of this TUI process that the governor's referencing.
I've testified. I don't recall anything about this.
Okay.
And I don't see how it's relevant to what your alleged purpose is. Now, your real purpose is to try to get elected, which I would say, Georgia, please, let's elect any lieutenant governor but this one.
We'll get to your work trying to elect lieutenant governors in a second, Madam DA, but for now, we're talking about the
I've done no
travel
work with
to
an
DC.
elected governor, but if I will do some work with this, I see that Counselor left you alone today,
I'm not.
and he is running to be Attorney General of this state,
Madam DA,
and he is not qualified to be such. By this document where he put up a false document trying to prove that I met with the vice president, that shows you he does not have ethics.
Nah, buddy in the chat, if she was showing that she was fighting for reparations and standing on real business, we will be backing her 100. Listen, we tired of people playing with our face with black people, bro, and doing nothing. So that's what this channel on. So I don't know if you trying to save her or save people who done crossed over. We ain't saving nobody. We salute people who doing their thing. Trump is attacking Venezuela, there will be no reparations. Man, what you want to do?
But there is somebody running for Attorney General that has been a state prosecutor, a federal prosecutor, a civil rights attorney, and a state's legislature. So if people want to vote for people that are ethical and actually have the experience to do the job, I'd say go donate now to Tanya Miller.
So yeah, y'all, was a crazy, crazy situation.
Shout out to Tania. She said they on that stuff over there in Cali. That bro, water guard, that part. Yeah, man. Ain't trying to say no one. We are on the verge of a war. Bro, you sound like them Democrat, bro. Like you trying to scare us into something. We just calling out these people and their behavior. She put all that energy in going at Trump, just like Jasmine Crockett. And we don't see the energy with reparations. We calling them out, we canceling. If you want to save them, do stuff and try to save them. We getting them out the way on this channel, bro. We exposing them and we showing you that they're not for us. We ain't got no problem with just keep calling out other stuff that's going on. We getting the people that's within right now. Each Aboriginal American Indian family writes their own historical narrative through Genealogy Express International. Right. They want us to stay off of them. See, this is what they be trying to do. No, bro, don't expose them, bro. Talk about what the white people doing. That's some democratic, bro, play. No, we exposing this, bro. We're trying to get our people in position. We're not with trying to have black people up here that we think rocking with us and they ain't rocking with us. I already know both parties refuse reparation. Okay. But what about the traitors, the people that look like you that's not representing you? What about them? That's what we doing on this channel. But I'm finna open up the chat. Me too. They still ain't talking about checks though. Housing homes 500K. Yeah, they always check in. Let them have Fannie Willis. I'm saying he can have her. We just saying we're not supporting her right now because she hasn't been standing. We don't hear no talk on reparations. You're not straddling the fence on us no more, bro. You either saying it loud with your chest out with reparations, or we don't want nothing to do with you. Ain't no more of that, we tippy-toeing and we doing all of that. No. Say it with your chest out in them courtrooms and say that. She talked about if they really wanted to help the people, they need to invest in the district attorney's office. That's her job. She trying to just get money in on her job. What about the people? The whole Atlanta is a shithole, bro. It needs a lot. No Republican remove affirmative action. I'm Black American. I listen to Tariq Nasheed. Both parties are saying, man, we ain't finna keep entertaining you, bro. You probably support Jasmine Crockett too, her immigration policy. You probably one of them, bro. We ain't on that right now. But I'm finna open up the chat, man. Hold on, let me open up the chat for y'all, cause we got them. They coming in. They coming in. So we gotta. We're gonna have to debunk them, cause these people lost, man. All FBA communities need a lot. That's what I'm saying. I'm finna get with check out this. Now I'm finna show y'all another one. We getting these elected officials up out of here, man. He want to save these elected officials, man.
I believe that I can expand the electorate. I believe that I can better build that coalition that we need of diversity. And I believe that that's the winning ticket to actually win in November. I don't know necessarily exactly. I think a lot of people are saying, well, James is actually going to go court Republicans. I don't know that that's his strategy. I think that people believe that's his strategy. I've been very clear about mine, though, and that is we need to expand. Texas is one of the lowest voter turnout states in this country. Georgia would not have 2 Democratic senators if people kept just trying to say, oh, well, let's go get more Republicans. Instead, what they did is they increased voter participation and turnout, and you have 2 senators, one who's been reelected. You had your November 4th elections, and you ended up with 2 candidates that were elected statewide. You guys increased your voter participation. Right now, Texas,
check this out.
Maybe a little bit over 50% of our voters actually participate. So why not go after the other 50% and try to get them involved?
Yeah,
Okay.
anybody,
Love
man,
that.
call
I
in.
do want to
give
take
your
a
point.
little bit of a second to talk about your opponent, or at least how people are pitting you against your opponent.
Yeah.
They're speaking a lot about the similarities of your voting record, specifically having to do with support or non-support of Israel, and that also sweeping into misinformation about whether or not you've accepted AIPAC dollars. And it's a big conversation, so I wonder how that's impacted your strategy for messaging.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. You know, there's a reason that this conversation is not kind of one that producers on mainstream TV have decided to engage in, because just like the polling came out as it relates to where I am in this race, when it comes to the polling and where the average Texan is, think about Texas, the plurality of people there are actually Latino. 41% of Texas is Latino. It's not one of those things that they're feeling like they need to ask us about, because in the polling, as it relates to Texans, they're concerned about affordability. They're concerned about the fact that they're losing their farms, things like that. But I do think that it is fair. I do want to be clear. I think it is a fair conversation to have. When you're talking about someone being elected to the federal level, you should know where they stand on foreign policy. So I honestly don't think that that's unfair. The only thing that I've been frustrated about is that, number one, there's been a lot of like talk about my record and people don't know it or understand it. And there's been nothing on the other side. And so it feels like, in fact, we've been told it was a coordinated attack on me, to be clear, because.
We're going to get to that, but just think about it. She went over to Israel. She going to say that she went over to Israel, got on the wall. You just spoke about Latinos as 41%. You're basically telling us we're not that important for you to be running for political, policies for. We're not that important for her. It's more important for her to say what the Latino community want. They want affordability. Did y'all hear her say what Black people wanted? Do you think she cared what Black people want? Them Somalians said they pulling or robbing. You get what I'm saying? Do y'all think she cared what Black people want? I'm finna let her, I'm finna get her finished, but we got Will Ham in the building. Let me put him on, bro. What's good, family?
Salutations, brother. What's going on?
Not much, man. On this FBA business. What's good, man? Where you from? Where you calling from?
Calling from Detroit, Michigan.
Shout out to Detroit, man. Y'all be standing on business up there, man.
Always.
That's what's up. So what you think about this, man? Black politicians, they blocking reparations, man. How you feel about that?
It's nothing new. Black
Nothing new,
politicians,
right?
yeah, it's nothing new. Black politicians have been sellouts to the black community since the '60s. I would even argue since before the '60s, probably even going back to the '30s. But
Yeah.
the thing is, though, and also respect to you, brother. This is my first time finding your channel and also
Yeah.
being on your channel. So shout out to you and salutations
Salute.
to you.
That's what's up, man.
But yeah, the thing is, black people have been sold on the idea that dependency from the government is the best way to go. They've given up on self accountability. They've given up on self responsibility. They've given up on community. They've given up on evolution and really progressing our people forward, especially because they was more than willing to accept integration, and that was like our biggest downfall. You look at how it is that now here in 2020. Well, let's go back to the '60s. What
Right.
the Democratic Party did was they put in the biggest bids that they possibly could to get the black vote. That's what they needed back. One of their statements was vote blue or get back Jim Crow. That's what they wanted. So now here it is in 2025. Black people have been swept under the rug and moved out the way because now they want to replace us with all these illegals. That's their new voting base. You see what I'm saying? So after everything that black people has been doing for the Democratic Party, I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. And when it comes down to it, the identity of blackness has been tied to, toe tagged and gate kept to and by the Democratic Party. And that's a problem. That black people have been by and large thinking that the only way for you to remain black is to vote for the Democratic Party. But we seen that with Joe Biden. He came up and he said it on live with Charlemagne, that if you don't know if you want to choose between me or Donald Trump, then you ain't black. Well, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. A white man is gatekeeping blackness to a Democratic Party based on the vote. And what did black people do? Black people say anybody that does not vote for Joe Biden, they're not black. So now you're a traitor, you're a betrayer. They call you a coon. They call you everything up under the sun except for who you are, which is a black person. But if you vote blue, now you welcome back into the black community. But in 2016, when Donald Trump was voted into office, they had this thing called Black Lives Matter. And they had this thing called woke. A lot of people really don't know what woke is. If you look up what the definition of what the organization of woke was, it was awareness against racial discrimination back in the 1930s. You pay attention to 2016, 2017, where woke was really in a strong movement. It was about the Rainbow Coalition and the Brigade of Gay Frogs. So now they have absorbed Black Lives Matter, taken on their fight like they always do when white liberals come adopt all of the black grievances and they make it into their own party and they just forget about us. And yet still here we are in 2025 and black people still believe that the Democratic Party is going to save them. They got it.
They got, yeah. You see Troy in my chat, man. He stay on the Democratic Party. Now, I've been bro, I put out a petition against making sure we got foundation of Black Americans in office, man. I want you to check that out. You're new to the channel, but I want you to check that out and sign that, man. I see you probably on YouTube if you could push that. But we're trying to get all of the immigrants and the people like Jasmine Crockett in office. I just played what she's saying, 41%. She talked about wanting to please Latinos. Do you feel like that's disrespectful to go on live? You're a black woman, and the only people you care and you speak about what they want is Latinos. You didn't say nothing about black people. Is that disrespectful to us? Should we feel disrespected?
Absolutely, it's disrespectful, but it's an old tactic, right? It's an old tactic that was used by Martin. It's an old tactic that was used by Clinton. It's an old tactic that was used by Barack. It's an old tactic that was used by everybody. What they have done is they have taken the emotional side of politics and they have tied it to race and they have used it in the offices, right? So the understanding is that as a black person, you're supposed to support Kamala Harris and Jasmine Crockett because they're black women or they're melanated women. But the thing is, we have to look past their gender and their race, which is just a social construct, and we have to actually look at their body of work. What has Jasmine Crockett done specifically for the United States of America to even garner that vote? And then to even boil it down to the marrow, what has she done specifically for the black community? But here you are, you're on a broadcast talking about the Mexicans. What about the black people? This is the same thing when it comes down to it's not what you can do for your country. It's not what you can do. It's not what your country can do for you. It's what you can do for your country. So everybody voted in. The majority of people that was black voted for Barack Obama in 2008. What was the first thing that he did?
What, LGBT? That's
gay marriage.
That's crazy. Yeah.
What did Clinton do for black people? The 94 crime bill. Black people from the NAACP backed Senator Byrd, a grand dragon or a grand wizard in the KKK. Again, what did Martin Luther King do for black people? He said it himself. I've marched my people into a burning house. He knew what he was doing was wrong. And all Malcolm did was try to bring people to a better life. But because of what was going on within that little organization that he was in, he was assassinated by his own people. Black people have been turned against each other. Black people have been set on this path of self-destruction by any means necessary just so they can get our vote. And black people haven't woken up to it yet. And then we even talk about something such as reparations. Now, I'm not a believer. I'm not FBI. I just got a lot of respect for people in the FBI because y'all drag on the fight. And I have nothing against that. But when it comes down to it, even when we talk about reparations, we look at those who was responsible for putting out the field order. We look at those who were responsible who took it back. We look at those who are responsible for Jim Crow, KKK, and all this, that, and the other. Everything that has been done to black people since 1619, when the very first slaves arrived in America to be sold, not since 1528, when they arrived as visitors. Everything that has been done to black people has been done by the Southern Democratic White Racist Party. And now here we are in 2025, and they are turning that whole entire goal around. So to answer your question, get to your point, Jasmine Crockett sitting up here talking about for the illegals, for the Mexicans. Again, what about us as black people? You're still not doing anything. You're still not speaking up. And what they did was they brought in all of these illegals and they bust them into these low income neighborhoods. They put them behind black people. Yeah. And then the white liberals came from the suburbs to protest with the black people. But when it's time for action to go down, the white people get to run back to their suburbs, and the black people got to be standing there fighting for the illegals. It doesn't make sense.
Right. I got one more question for you.
Sure.
Where will we go from here? I know you said you're not for reparations, but where do we go from here if you was the president of Black America, and where would you go as far as getting us together? What would be your strategy?
Stop integrating. Stop. You know what? There's I call them the small hats because of term of services on YouTube, can't talk about those group of people, but that group of people, the small hats, what they do, they participate in this thing called nepotism. They buy small hat, they participate in small hat, they do business in small hat, they get money from everyone else, but they spend it with themselves. That's the way it needs to be in the black community. We need to stop funneling out and selling out our culture and our people just for someone else's dollar and not be willing to spend that same dollar and circulate it within our community. That's the number one thing we got to do. We got to focus on building our foundations and strengthening our communities, getting our children educated, teaching them our culture and our heritage, which was stolen and taken away from us.
Facts. I'm with you on that. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I know the chat screaming reparations too, but yeah, man. I got Ursa. Corey, man. Y'all wanna back anything he said? We had the brother coming on talking about black liberation.
Hey. This is Miss Ursa. How are you?
Great.
How you doing?
Happy to see you on. Give us
hey, brothers. Good to be here. Well, I'm FBA all the way. So, but okay. My thing is that, because the brother was saying about the 60s, but where we come from and all of the trials and tribulations that we went through during enslavement, we did not know that our own party was going to backstab us like they have. But I am glad, I'm very happy that now we are seeing with our own two eyes what I have been talking about, but I was called a xenophobic and all this Archie Bunker. But I remember when Hispanics first started coming to Wisconsin, I was working for social services. I was doing SNAP and food stamps, Medicaid and all that. And they hired people that spoke Spanish. and once and this one Spanish lady, me and her was friends. She said, "Y'all better start speaking Spanish because we taking over." I remember how they bent over backwards for these people, and so getting back to what the brother was saying, but we did not know. But now, see, Jasmine Crockett got to show her two face. She got just like now, she talked about our sister girl and stuff last year, right? And now we see, but we always knew that the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, which was supposed to be working for us, we saw us as FBAs did. That's why I'm with the movement, and I do call it a movement. We saw that. That's why we started talking against these people. They are the immigration caucus. They are not for us, but she got to show her face. And so you see that she's crashing out for these Latinos, but she can't hide. She can't hide today. Okay, I land my plane on that.
All right, Miss Urs. All right, Miss Urs. Corey, man, I got you in. You want to rebuttal anything the brother had to say?
Yeah, I want to ask where the dude that was just talking, where are you from, bro?
Detroit, Michigan.
You said you're not FBA?
No, sir.
You're Caribbean, you're African. What's your origin?
No. I was born and raised here in America. It's just I'm not from, like, I don't have, like, my genealogy and my biology is not from, like, outside of America.
Okay, so the reason that I'm asking is because a lot of your talking points are not really, it's a little bit more right wing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you talk about the Southern Democrats and all that type of stuff. I guess my first question would be, like, why are you against reparations?
So the ideal of reparations is workable, but I think it needs to be directed in a different way, right? Now, I can get with the whole plan of those was promised and furloughed, they need to be paid back. And not only do they need to be paid back, it needs to be a higher percentage rate is on it because they have been delayed, right? I think the way that they have been trying to go about getting it done has been the wrong way. So I'm a person who goes along with the plan if the plan sounds workable. Right now, with everything that I've been saying about the fight for reparations, it's just been and I could be wrong about this, but because I haven't studied it for years and years, but I've seen it to where it's just people yelling at the sky saying, "Hey, we want reparations for this." And I'm like, all right, who do you want reparations from? Okay, from white people or from the government or from this group of people or from this political party. It's just like, okay, well, do we understand who made that promise to Black enslaved peoples? And it's like, okay, so now that we understand that, what are we calling for? Reparations in what form? In a monetary way, an educational way, and what are we calling for? Are we calling for the land? Okay, so let's go back to the land thing. Even when Abraham Lincoln took the land back and tried to put everybody over, and I believe it was Syria or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, or Siberia, whatever one it is.
Liberia?
Yeah.
Liberia, there it is. So all of that sounds great, but this is I was born in 1989. This is my problem. I have been watching Black people fight for everybody else except ourselves. When it came down to the Rainbow Coalition and the Brigade of Gay Frogs, Black people stood out in front and said that they want to defend them. When it came down,
let me stop you there. Let me just stop you there, just so I can get an opportunity to respond.
Yeah.
Number one, so your lineage is questionable, right? Because you haven't confirmed where your family originated from. So that's number one. Number two, when we talk about reparations, it's not we're looking for reparations from white people. And I say this with all due respect. I can be a little sharp sometimes, but I'm not trying to disrespect you, but I got to be honest. We're not looking for reparations from white people. We have an issue with the government because we're talking about a system of laws that was codified into law, right? Like we're talking about specific structures. We're not talking about, see, the problem is I notice a lot of people from outside America tend to deify white people. And a lot of people make it seem like they have more agency than they actually do, but they don't. They're just individuals in a system that benefits them, right? So basically what I'm saying is reparations is a debt that is owed from the government to Black Americans specifically, meaning people who can trace their lineage back at least to the first census of 1790. So that answers your question right there. It's the specific group of black people who've been in America that didn't come after 1964, where the Civil Rights Acts were passed and immigration was opened up to more blacks, right? So, because when we talk about black people in America, we're not talking about Nigerians, we're not talking about Ghanaians, we're not talking about people from the Caribbean. We're talking about people with a specific lineage that goes back, right? The people who created jazz, who created ragtime, who created swing. You understand? The people that created the drum machine. Just to talk about the entertainment side of the game. The first graffiti artists, the first hip hop art, one of the most influential groups of people on the planet. So when we talk about black people, we talk about flat blackness. I think we do a major disservice. Not to shit on these other groups of black people. I mean, I have my personal reservations, but it's about black Americans specifically, the specific lineage of people. And it's not just for slavery, right? It's for redlining. It's for Jim Crow. It's for many things, many things. For the war on drugs, many things, right? You know, many things, destabilizing other nations using the money that they got from destabilizing our nation, right, within America. So that's what we're talking about. And a Nigerian person who got here in the 80s or the 90s, they don't have that history. They have history with the British and colonization with the British and with the Indians and all that kind of stuff. So they would have to deal with that over there. So that's number one. As far as people are just yelling in the sky and asking for reparations, no, there's organization that's happening. And the first step is delineation. So no more conversations about flat blackness. We have to be more specific as to what group of black people are we referring to. I'm saying we're referring to the people that Lewis Latimer, Benjamin Banneker, George Washington Carver, some of these people. I'm not talking about Fela Kuti and Kwame Nkrumah and Patrice Lumumba and Frantz Fanon. These are other people from other places. So I think we got to be a little bit more specific when we have these conversations, right? Because in World War II, right, when Americans was over there fighting to free Jewish people or whoever, whatever the case may be, to end the threat of Nazi Germany, who white Americans initially supported and funded, people like Henry Ford and a lot of the robber barons and industrialists, those people, the black men that went over there, the Harlem Hellfighters, people, those are black Americans. These are not Nigerian. Now, you did have some Nigerians and some Africans and non-black Americans fight, but those were in the French Foreign Legion. Again, no connection to America. Were we allied? Sure. But again, they were provisioned by Europeans. Okay, so Africans have a closer relationship with Europeans, right? So that's just to answer your question. And I just want to say in closing, it's not just about slavery. Slavery is a huge part of it. Slavery is the number one industry in America. War on drugs, and slavery by another name, also known as convict leasing, redlining, and many other things. But these things are harms that are specific to Black American people who can trace their lineage back. And then many Native American people who are reclassified as Black, free Black people. Definitely there were some Africans involved in that. If you look into the research, about 3 to 4% of the Middle Passage, those people came to America. 3 to 4%. That's roughly, if we're going on the higher end of the scale, we could say 500,000 people. But right now in 2025, we're a population of roughly 43 to 50 million people. So again, that's a distinction that has to be made. We can't keep having these conversations about flat Blackness. That's the first step. We can't keep having these conversations and just Black people. And we got to stop having these conversations about the small acts. And I'm laying my plane. I'm gonna let you just give me
can I piggyback off of
let me wrap up and then I'll let you guys have the floor. Just give me like a minute, 30 seconds. This conversation about like the small hats and what the Jews are doing and the Zionists and this and that has nothing to do with us. Like when people come in and they start talking about that, that's white ethnic group infighting. So when I see a Black person who starts to involve themselves in that, I'm like, wait a minute, you're probably not one of us, because the white ethnic group infighting has been happening since the Irish, the Italians, and all these other people were allowed to come to the United States during the early 19th century with the whole Ellis Island thing. So I think a lot of people need to learn American history, because frankly, we can tell when you're not one of us because you don't know the history. And I'm not saying that, but I land the plane.
No, I have nothing against that. It's just that, so for me to follow something, I have to be researched on it. I have to be studied on it, right? And it can't be a directed narrative, because the way I was introduced to it is that if you're not FBA, then you're not a true Black. And my thing is, I'm always a person to question something.
Well,
So-
well, brother, can no, I need to step
Go
in here
ahead.
because
Go ahead, Eric.
because for one thing, you are spewing a narrative that sounds very suspect because FBAs have never said anything about that certain people are not black, for one thing. So that's and then when you say that you study this and that, if you really study reparations, you would know that reparations is also tied into the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, because those were specifically for descendants of enslaved people. But when people say, well, no, they shouldn't get it because I wasn't here or blah blah blah, but they benefit from the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. So if they don't want to give us reparations, then they should not benefit from that. But they also should not benefit from the desegregation of the military that we did. And Truman passed it because blacks demanded it. And also the Civil Rights Bill, which equal housing, equal education, bilingual education. So if people do not want to pay us reparations, then we need to take all of that back. So when you talk about history, then we shouldn't be giving up none of our rights that we fought and died for. I'll land my plane.
Gotcha. And this is where, and the reason I said that the person who taught it, usually when people are radicalizing the idea and they just want people to, when they want you to just join something, they won't give you the full story and the full scope. You see what I'm saying? Like this is why I left the Democratic Party in 2008 after I voted for Obama. In 2009, when I joined the United States military, I started doing research and I was like, well, wait, both parties are at fault. And when it comes to how black people have been treated in America, right? Both parties have done wrongs to black people. And the way I look at it is this: until I get a full scope and understanding on something that I either want to be a part of or have interest in, that's when I'll consider like joining that movement or something like that. But what I've been looking at is that since the 60s, there have been a multitude of fights that have been brought forth for black people, for people of melanin color in this country. But every time something comes up or arises that has to do with anything outside of melanated people, that fight is what gets the attention. And then I look at how it is that people have been coming up within this country since I've been born, is that they've been steering towards everything except black excellency. That's my problem. And what we do is we promote the worst of us just to put them at the top so that we can say that that's black excellency. And I don't see how that's a good thing.
Right. I don't think it's a matter of like who's.
Go ahead.
What I respond? I don't think it's a matter of. I hear what you're saying, bro, and I respect what you're saying. Much respect to your service as a veteran. I'm a veteran too, but I think that what you're saying is like these are like talking points. These are like narratives, right? It's not really. It's not really. An organic conclusion that and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, so please don't take it personally. I've had this conversation with a lot of Caribbean brothers. I'm not sure what area of the United States you reside in, but again, like when you talk about black people in America,
Detroit, Michigan. Okay,
yeah, you did say that earlier. My bad. Yeah. But when you talk about black people in America, you're talking about a specific group of people. Like we have to really, I again, and I know you got a lot of people that's not FBA take it as disrespect for whatever reason. But history is history, right? Like I could never go to West Africa and tell people, well, Black Americans did this and did like I couldn't even go to Liberia, right, or Sierra Leone, which are both American colonies essentially in origin, and tell them about their history or try to use a flat blackness. It's like, no, you got to be specific. It's Sierra Leone, and then underneath that, there's tribes and different ethnic groups, right? They have different languages. So it's like when America, we have allowed this race thing, this obsession with race, to make it so that there's this flat blackness concept. Absolutely. We can't have a conversation about politics, history, if people don't understand that black people have separate lineages. We have separate histories. Okay, and truth be told, in Africa, because I've been to Africa, I just got back from Africa. Truth be told, the concept of blackness is not a thing in Africa, and many Africans will admit this. There is no black in Africa. I'm a Kikuyu and you're a Luo. I'm a Luya and you're a Hausa. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's only when these people start coming to America, now it's like, okay, well, we see that black people are black, because let's be honest, America is the best place to be a black person, period, bar none. Is it perfect?
Yeah.
No. But a lot of people is trying to come over here and pretend to be us. So that's the first step. The first step is no, we're like, you guys have to, people got to stop pretending to be us. We got to, the flat blackness thing, that has to stop.
My bad.
Go ahead.
No, my thing is like, and I've had these hard conversations, and people say, well, we got to stop accepting them. My thing is, but you opened up the doors to them in more ways than one. When it comes down to our music industry, we the ones that sold out our masters. We sold out our records so we can get a music deal. When it come down to going against each other as black people, we sold out to the white man. We sold out to all these different groups of people. There was not a hard stop on, we're not going to deal with anyone else.
Well, you know what, but brother, that you're not telling the truth. Everybody sold out their masters. Ray Charles was the first one to get his own masters before White. He was the first one. So when you're talking about, he was the first one. So you know, I mean, so don't be degrading us like we.
I'm not degrading.
No, you are. Yes, you are, brother. You are. No, because everything that you have said the last 2 minutes has been against our history. I'll land my plane.
I'm not speaking against the history. I just think that just like with all other groups of people, when you have people who are extremists or radicalists and they don't give the full history and they tell their history incorrectly just because they want to recruit people, then everyone needs to be on the same goal.
Right.
Well,
check this out though.
You
from Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Now in Detroit, do you know about the Black Panther Party? You heard about? You know,
absolutely. My father was a Black Panther. Yeah,
your father was a Black Panther.
Yeah,
right. So let's say the Black Panther was in your time, right? Would you and you heard about what was going on with the Black Panthers? Would you have to like get more information, or would you be like, man, this is I hear what they saying and it resonates with me, and I'm finna ride with this? Would you?
Absolutely. Yeah, with the Black Panthers, yes, but because the thing was, the way I look at the Black Panther, the way I was raised on how the Black Panthers moves, it was a hard stop against all other races. It was all about just making sure that we're taken care of first, that we are the first priority when it comes to this whole entire community and this unity. So yeah, when it comes to that, yeah, I would have jumped on that. Yeah,
right. So what about FBA that you hear that you feel like is something that is not a movement, or is it? It isn't that same kind of energy. Like, how do you not,
I think it's because I was introduced to it the wrong way. Like the same way, and I've had this argument with a family member of mine. They're NOI, and he was trying to get me to really like understand NOI. And then I had another family member that was trying to get me to understand the Nation of God's Herbs, the 5%ers. And I'm just like, y'all have to really introduce me to this the right way and not a radical way. Because the moment you say, like, we having this conversation right now, and if I can't remember the brother's name that's 2 spots below me, the way he's talking, I can listen to him because he's actually breaking down the history, giving historical facts and all this, that, and the other. Now that's nothing against the sister, but if you're going to come at someone radically and say, no, you talking against us, I'm not talking against you, I'm just trying to gain understanding. That's the type of energy that I was getting when I was first introduced to FBA. Right. And when I started asking questions about it, it's because, since I'm already not FBA, I'm a tether, I'm an outsider. And I was like, all right, cool, great, no problem. Then y'all got it. I still respect it, but y'all got it.
Right. But think about this. So I want you to think about this. You said that you was a supporter of the Black Panthers, right? If you know about that story, you know about William O'Neal.
Absolutely.
You know who William O'Neal is?
Yeah.
Right. So it was a lot of cosplaying, and it was a lot of COINTELPRO that went into that, right? In a lot of our movements. So how we feel right now as Black people, we have a lot of people that have always backstabbed us. So right now we're not dealing with fence straddlers. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we have a history of people, turning us in, or just stopping our liberation. So we have this. I think you taking that as far as like we're tired of people playing in our face. You get what I'm saying? It's not
Absolutely.
like personally against you. It's a lot of people that play and they not standing on real business for real.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with the Panthers. Like, if you don't know, they made the Black Panthers out to be a radical group. They let it's people now that say that they kind of like the KKK, the opposite. So we feel like the white supremacist media is going to always try to push a narrative that anything progression that we got going on as FBA or Black people.
That's one of the biggest problems that Black people always face in America, right? Because anything that we try to do for ourselves in a positive way, this is one of the reasons why I started getting interested into reparations, because it is a good thing for Black people. It's something that's not just a good thing, but it's something that's old. But the thing is, anything positive that Black people try to do, it's always white America to say, oh, well, that's just like y'all trying to do this, y'all trying to do that. They always try to paint it in a negative light. And see, this is the battle that's fought on a different front that a lot of people will really miss out on, because not only I as a Black man will not get accepted by my own community just because, one, I don't vote Democrat, or two, I don't go along with an affiliation just because I don't understand it. But also, three, there's always a racist narrative to it as well. So just existing, it's just like, all right, cool. So I can't ask questions. I can't gain understanding. What am I to do other than sit back and say, no, I don't agree with it. I respect it, but I just don't agree with it. Not until I gain better understanding of it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's still a stance, though. If you don't agree with something and you're disagreeing with it, then you are taking a stance, right? It would be better to be neutral and not participate in the conversation. That's logically.
But wouldn't that be the same as gatekeeping?
No, gatekeeping is when I have something and you want access to it, and I'm telling you, here's what you need to do to have access to it. And that's what the FBA community, that's what we are doing. We've been open, because you said earlier, like, we've allowed this group and that group to come in, do the music and this and that. And yes, that's absolutely true. But this is before we knew how hostile the world was to us. You got to understand, we're the only group of people who have created a new ethnic group out of imprisonment and being prisoners of war, essentially, right? The only group in the world, right? And so we were looking for allies. That was the mindset that a lot of our ancestors had in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Now that people are here and they're disrespecting us, and with social media, we see how jealous a lot of people are. And it's not just the non-FBAs, it's the Asians, the Latinos. It's a lot of people who are jealous, who feel some type of way because in their homelands, they have these stratified, calcified racial caste systems, like in India and Asia and other places, where the Blacks are at the bottom. And then they come to America and they see, well, the Blacks actually have some type of say. Hence me saying in the first place, being in America is the best place to be a Black person. In Africa, where it's 90 to 95% Black people, they're at the bottom in their own countries and they don't control any industry or economy at all. Understand? So you can come here as a black person to America and get that. The point that I'm making is we have to be realistic about these conversations. It's not about, oh, well, you guys are saying that they're not Black enough. Number one, Africans have a history of telling us that they're not Black. I remember when I was in high school and 20 years ago, they was telling us, yo, y'all not African and we not Black. Y'all are now all of a sudden when it's politically beneficial, now everybody want to be Black. Now we want to have the conversation about being Black. It's like, that's just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? They're not, Africans are not Black. Caribbean people are not. When we talking about Black people, the ethnic group, you're talking about Black Americans. You understand? Everybody else is whatever their nationality or tribe is. So that's just really what it is right there. And I land my plane on that.
No doubt.
Okay. We got a couple people in the chat. They want to rebuttal this, man. We got Brother Eugene. You go ahead first, man.
Okay, hey, Black Power brothers and sisters. Hey, man, dynamic show, and this is certainly some discussions that is long overdue with Africans, both here in the United States and out there in the diaspora. I think one thing that is getting to be confusing to a lot of the Black immigrants is that they don't understand what Foundation Black America means, and they get kind of upset sometimes. It is a form of delineation because we have been very Pan-African Pan-Africanist people for quite some time. Like you say, it goes all the way back to the Marcus Garvey movement, and even before that with some of our great Black leaders. And it's just over the years, we've seen this separatism that has taken place within the immigrant community. And it's not knocking the immigrant community, because I know a lot of time it's just based on everybody's experience in their own culture, where they're from. And sometimes that is maybe considered as a divide and separatist. But based on what's called the HR 40 movement, a study that has taken place, Foundation Black America, they think reparations is something that should go to everyone because their ancestors had also been involved with slavery and colonization. But the fact of the matter is, with Foundation Black America, we never did get our due payment. There is a debt owed by the former oppressors, which is now their descendants that we live amongst today in 2025. It is a debt due. It is nothing like, okay, you did us wrong and we need compensation for the slave movement. There were all sorts of atrocities that was carried out from the time our ancestors landed here in the United States, starting from the Moorish movement in the 1500s, where many of the black Africans were removed from Europe and brought here to the United States as a part of the slave, the conquering of the Moors. Then it goes into 1619 when you had the West Africans that was brought here in slaves in chains and in the bottom of boats. Then it moves on to the emancipation of slavery, 1865. These are people who have direct connections to that movement. You have the Jim Crow, which there's plenty of atrocities that have carried out on the backs of Black Americans. This before 1960, after the Civil Rights Movement. Then you see a large influx of immigrants from the Caribbean, then from Africa, and then from all over. But meanwhile, they've had plenty of Europeans that they import every year, plenty of people who are non-Black immigrants coming into the United States have been given favoritism over the top of the very people who built the foundation of America itself. That means all these big towns and cities that we have come so accustomed to and are privy to today, even in this magnificent, the foundation was laid by labor of foundation Black people who had been here centuries in. So the debt is due for reparations it's not just monetary compensation, but it's also land that was stolen from Black people. We had millions of acres of land after the abolishment of slavery. Then they went through a period where that land was snatched. So it's not just money that's involved, it's also land, it's also political positions in the United States government that is due to us that we never got. So we feel that it's the immigrants that are continuing to have a problem with Black America going after what is due to us. So my only recommendation and a solution to that, if you are first or second generation and you don't have a recording in the census records or the National Archive records, or even plantation records where you can identify that your ancestor was here at a certain specific time when all of this atrocity stuff was going on, you would have to go to your own nation and say, hey, you know what? We need to get a reparations movement for ourselves, because who was your colonizer or who was your enslaver from your ancestral lineage? Now, for those individuals, now I'm gonna land with this. I'm gonna land with this. And for those individuals that may not have a direct connection to the descendants of North American slavery, you would have to confront those institutions that was involved in your nation's colonization and slavery. It might have been the UK, the England at the time, the British, might have been the Spanish, it might have been the French, but everybody's going to have to take on their own fight. And that's what Foundation Black America is doing. And we've never been against our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean or Africa, but we also now, with our own studies, we see that Pan-Africanism is dead. Pan-Africanism is somewhat dead, because if the Africans can't unite themselves and see a much larger picture that has been laid out for them also, then there's no need for us to continue to connect ourselves to some people who are basically not in the progressive mode. I landed there. I digress. Yeah, black power.
Appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you, brother. Now, hold on. I got Bags. Let me let Bags get his off. He been on the chat. Bags, what's good, fam?
What's going on, family? Man, this guy with these goddamn glasses on, bro. You sound like an Asian, my boy. You sound like you sound like a foreigner. You sound like you're not for us. It's like it's like you're looking for us to approve, like give you approval or some shit like that. It's like, bro, we don't need your approval. We don't need your approval. We don't need to explain why we need reparations to you. You will never understand because you're a foreigner. And that's why this
idea that I'm a foreigner, where's that coming from?
Okay, where your people's from, bro?
St. Louis, Missouri, St. Louis, Alabama, St. Louis, Alabama, and let me see. On my mother's side, that would be St. Louis and Alabama. On my father's side, that would be Mississippi and Tennessee.
Okay, well, I just don't understand your rhetoric. Like you come off as an agent, you come off as like contrary.
He said it was Caribbean.
What we trying to do?
I've never said I was Caribbean. Where's this idea coming from that I was Caribbean? Where is this coming from?
I didn't say you was Caribbean.
Shit from what I'm gathering.
I never said I was. When did I say I was Caribbean?
Well, I think you said that you did your ancestry and you had family from outside the United States.
No, I said I have no family from outside of America.
Well, you Foundation Black America then.
Right, but he has the lineage, but he don't want to claim the lineage because he think it's a group, or he don't understand.
Yeah, he ain't collect that thought. Yeah.
Yeah, so if your peoples was born here in the States and you go back some centuries, then you would be considered Foundation Black America. So
thank you.
But this is what I mean. I'm glad that you said that, right? And here I am. This is the first time I've ever been around a group of foundation of FBAs. That was actually.
And I'm from St. Louis too. Both sides of my family are, and before that, they're from the South.
Go ahead, let them go.
But no, so this is my thing, right? And I'm glad.
You don't sound like you're from St. Louis. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I'm not from St. Louis. I'm from Detroit.
Yeah, I know, because I'm from there.
Got you. But I'm not from St. Louis. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. But no, so my thing is when I boil it down, if I'm looking to gain information, all I met was hostility. All I'm met with is hostility. I accept it, right? Because if it's the idea is that if it's someplace that I'm not welcome, I just won't go. Now the ideal of FBI, again, I have no problem with it because I respect it. I understand it, and I get the whole entire concept of that lineage. But when I'm trying to gain understanding, even when I formulate these questions, like I'm listening, like y'all have been talking this time, I'm like, okay, well now I understand even more about why it is that the fight for reparations is so important. But still I have questions. But before I can ask those questions, just like with other people of ideologies, there's always hostility, which I have no problem with. You can be as hostile as you want to.
Yeah. But I'm
you
saying,
coming off hostile. That's why you get hostility.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, say it again.
You coming off hostile. That's why you get hostility.
How am I coming off hostile?
Because I don't know if you realize it. You're very contrary. Like you're trying. It's like a fake concern. It's like, it's like I feel like you understand, but then you're faking like you don't understand. That's how it sounds. That's how it sounds, and that's why you can get met with hostility.
I understand, but here's the thing, and this is what I was talking about with directed narratives, right? excuse me, as I was coming up in Detroit, Michigan, I was always taught up under the banner that all Black people must vote Democrat, right? Now that's something when
We
I
all
did my
were.
right. So when I did my research, I'm just like, I just don't understand why would we vote for a party or a group of people that kept us enslaved and fought in the Civil War to keep us enslaved? I don't understand the notion behind that. Then it came with the whole idea that the party switch and all this, that, and the other. So now the Republicans is 100% bad. I'm just like, something about that don't make sense to me because we're not including people like Thaddeus Peterson, Thomas Brown. We're not including Harriet Tubman. We're not including Frederick Douglass. It's a whole lot of people that we're not looking into these factors. So when I go to these museums, such as the Abolitionist Museum, and I look into this history, I'm just like, wait, something don't add up with everything that y'all have been telling me. So when I go ask these questions and people get upset about the questions that I'm asking, just like, what is there to keep away from? So is there information that's being kept only that's available to you once you enter the group or once you enter the understanding? Or what's happening here? You see what I'm saying?
It's like any other research, you got to go down and look for it, bro.
I think the issue that you're having is that like you're not making a distinction between number one, lineage and ideology. This is a lineage, and then the movement is delineation. That's where it ends and that's where it begins. It's delineation, bro. All we saying is that we don't want to be grouped in with Africans and Caribbeans.
But peep this. We all been indoctrinated by the American system.
That's different though. Like we are from the American system.
That's neither here nor there though. That has nothing to do with like these kind of like 1970s Hotep Black nationalist talking points. That's irrelevant. The point that we're making is it's a political statement.
Yeah, it's not irrelevant because the movement has already been pressed forward. I mean, we're just a generation that's done picked up the baton from our ancestors. It's all passed down through generation. So they fought for their time period. We're fighting for our time period now. And we're the generation that's in the seat that's taking control of our narrative that has to be carved out and being in a self-determination. Being self-determined depends on our survival. So
the first step, right? But what we're saying is we're itemizing the steps that you need to take to do that. For self-determination to happen, it's great to talk about it, but you have to itemize it, organize it, and make it happen. And what I'm explaining to the brother here and many other people in the chat that don't understand is that the number one thing is that we're saying we have a separate culture, history, and lineage than people that are African or Caribbean. That's what we're saying. Anybody that has black skin, a certain amount of melanin, a hair texture, they dress a certain way, they're emulating us. That don't make you black, and that don't mean that you have a seat at our table. That's what we're saying. That's the first step. The first step to start setting up a culture that's distinct is gatekeeping it. So we're gatekeeping it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. And that's not a problem with that because I think everybody on this platform is Foundation Black America. And the brother did say that he comes from a Black Panther background, and he knows about the 10 steps of unity that comes along with that. And that starts with the factor that we're working together as a collective unit in order to perceive our politics and our economic stance within the American Foundation. And like I said earlier, we've all been indoctrinated. A lot of the stuff that we know today wasn't available 20 years ago. Now we got it at our fingertips. So there's no need for a person to be uneducated about who it is that you are as a people and to be able to define that.
Yeah, but this brother is not uneducated because his father was a Black Panther. He knows about the liberation. I don't think he should be taking these points because he should understand that liberation of that Black Panther, and he should have been able to resonate with the message we putting out. So that's
right. That's right. And I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, the Black Panthers, there was a bunch of Asians and again, foreigners all up and down the Black Panthers, right?
There you go.
The point that I'm making is that the Black Panthers is a great example of what we can do. But then you had the COINTELPRO, which totally just destroyed. I mean, and then you had Ronald Karanga, who was probably a Jamaican tether or something like that. So the thing that I'm saying is that, like, number one, I don't know if you guys read Neely Fuller's compensatory code concept.
Yes.
It's not about like four-wallism and like following an organization that was already defeated, because they were, let's be honest, the Black Panthers were defeated because they allowed.
I also think you can learn from your past to produce.
You can learn what not to do, and what not to do is not having a bunch of foreigners amongst your people. That's just the way of the world.
May I jump in for
just? But see, the Black Panthers was defeated because of the Democratic Party's politics took over the Black Panther, just like the way they took over Black Lives Matter.
For sure.
This is the thing that I don't hear you guys talking about it.
Well,
We need to talk about the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
we have enemies in the midst.
You had the Vietnam War and you had the Korean War going on at the same time.
We have enemies. We have enemies in the midst.
Inside, yes. We got
And so this is the main thing why we haven't got reparations. Because we have the Democratic Party, which was started by white people, and their main objective, and you guys are talking about books and stuff like that, y'all don't know history. The Democratic Party's main objective is immigrants. Now, we was just an afterthought. JFK did not even want to include Black people until they put the dogs and put those hoses on national TV, and everyone around the world saw that while he was going to Germany talking about freedom. This is what really happened. Why they had to bring us in. So, when y'all talk about history, I'm an OG that y'all be talking about, yes, and we did make mistakes, but the Democratic Party is for immigrants.
Well, let me ask this question. Since we're on this topic, why not approach now in 2025 the Congressional Black Caucus that's supposed to represent the Black community? Why are we not having this discussion with them?
Because they don't.
Because they're not all Democrats. Some of them are Black Republicans also.
50% of them are immigrants. The president of the Congressional Black Caucus, Yvette Clark, or whatever her name is, out of New York, she said herself, she wants more immigrants because that brings more money into her district. She's from Jamaica. So we need to, just like Jasmine Crockett is showing her face, which I said before, they need to show their face, and we are making them show our face. So when y'all be talking about the 10 points and stuff like that, that does not apply to 2025, because we got to get we got to make sure that we show that the Democratic Party, we need to call them out, which we are doing. This is what we are on the right track. So like when this brother and stuff be talking about, I don't know. Well, we don't know either. We are doing it day by day, but you see that they are crashing out, and we are seeing just like the sister in Jersey that went to jail.
What happened?
Well, we did a great job with not electing Kamala. That was the first stage of this movement that we have today. Black people, they didn't go to the polls. They stayed home. They watched TV. They watched the election on TV, and that was a good move for us because that shows that we're starting to delineate. And delineate is not a bad thing. It's actually happens to work.
This is the first step. We got to delineate.
May I jump in?
And I'm gonna tell you, Donald Trump looks at us delineated. Why do you think? I'm telling y'all. I think y'all just a little bit because he says the same talking points we do. They need to go back home. He talk about them just like we do. But I'm just saying, we are on the right track, y'all. And this dude right here, I don't know what he's talking about, because we don't need to explain nothing to anybody, because we are trending. FBA is trending everywhere. I land my plane.
FBA is indeed trending everywhere, but
for sure. But this is a learning process for all. So we got to be able to teach our people as well, because not everybody's in the know, and I don't think we should be getting upset with folks.
We are not in the know. This is something new, honey.
No, it's not.
We don't know.
It's not new. It's not new. It's not new. It's not new.
FBA is new.
Well, FBA might be new, but the Black Power movement has always been in existence. It's been in existence for many years.
This is not a Black Power movement.
It is a Black Power movement.
This is the first time that we have had pride in our enslavement heritage, because everybody was telling us that this go back to Africa thing or out of Africa thing. And that's what got us sidetracked. That's why we let all these Africans in the HBCUs and they done took over. That's
irrelevant. But that's also irrelevant to the fact That's irrelevant to the fact because
That's not irrelevant. It's the same as the Congressional Black Caucus. We have let them infiltrate, but now we calling them out.
Well, if they come in here and they're spending their money to go to a lot of these institutions, how can you stop somebody spending their money?
The Somalis ain't spent a damn thing. The Nigerians don't spend nothing. They get money from the taxpayers. They get money from us.
But we can't assume that all of them and the black immigrant population is only the black immigrant population is only 8% out of 43 million. So how can they be in control of the destination of Black America, Foundation Black America, when they only make up 5 million
infiltrate to look like us.
Okay, not only them, the Hispanics, the immigrants, the Asians, all of those immigrants get money. Because this is what the Democratic Party is about.
Well, this is where, and I'm trying to understand, right? So this is where ideas align. At least I'm understanding that my ideas align with y'all's. The Democratic Party has been the worst thing that happened to the black people, and yet black people,
you got that right.
And yet black people.
But we didn't know that, brother.
And I'm not saying that that's something that was not known. But
what I'm saying, we was all raised to drink that Kool-Aid. You have to get out of the dark and see for yourself.
Absolutely, and right around the 60s with Lyndon B. Johnson and that piece of crap. That's that because I'm a huge studier of Malcolm, right? And I was listening to how it is that Malcolm was really laying it out for black people about how it is that you should not be following behind white liberals. And when I look at how it is that even in 2025 to this day, that a good percentage of black people are more than willing to accept help, if not welcome in others who's outside of the black community to come into their fight because they want to consider them an ally. That's not doing anything for black people because all they're going to do is turn around and go right back to the suburbs. It's not doing anything for black people. Even
I was on the chat talking against Jasmine Crockett, and everybody was cursing me out, and I'm like, do y'all see Chicago, Detroit? Do y'all see our cities that are governed by people that look like us, and we ain't got nothing?
Well, that's because
they're trying to do identity politics by slipping foreigners in there to have BS policies. Because you need more than what a face is. That's the whole problem. People so intrigued with just faces instead of policy.
I would like to ask a question about. Let me, with all due respect, big up to the panel. It'll be brief. To the brother Cellulite, I have to ask this, and this is a genuine question. Yes, peace, fam. How you doing?
What up, Mulatto?
Yes,
What's
this is
happening,
Mulatto.
G?
How you doing?
What's going
Ain't
on?
too much, and I'll be brief because I don't want to take up too much time. But given the fact that your own ancestors were enslaved, meaning that your
What happened to the sound? What happened to the sound?
Hey,
You cut out. You cut out only for me or for everybody?
Say it again, Mulatto.
Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, my question is, and I'll make it concise. Since your own ancestors were enslaved, meaning that your own family was robbed of a multi-generational inheritance, how can you today be against reparations, knowing that this is an inheritance that you won't even be able to pass to your future generations?
And this is where the unorganization of it comes into question for me. Now, again, I hear everything y'all saying, and I still got questions. But if they won't be answered, that's fine. But when it comes down to people in my family, whatever it is that they went through, I feel like they do deserve. Not feel, because I don't like to deal in feelings too much. I think that they are owed that debt. My thing is, are we going to go about doing it, or are we just going to sit around and talk about it? Because if we're not going to put in the work to actually get it done, what are we doing? We're just sitting around.
Delineation is the way to start.
Let me respond to what he said. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Respond what he said. Go ahead.
So when like I said, I was born in '89. This fight for reparations, I'm just now hearing about in 2010. But that's only because I was busy doing other things. But as I've been listening to this fight for reparations, I've been seeing how black people, by and large, have been offering themselves up for everybody else's fight. Primary one being how the whole Black Lives Matter movement had good intentions, But the problem was they accepted everybody into their fight, and then they got absorbed by the Rainbow Coalition. So my thing is just like, all right, we're going to be willing to let a white man sit on national TV and tell us that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's what we're willing to accept.
We weren't willing.
But
But
say
we
like,
weren't
hold on,
willing.
just so we clear.
But hold on, brother,
Hold on,
because you
sis,
keep
please.
saying you
My
keep putting us down, and all of us were not willing because there was a big backlash to that, and we saw it in 2024.
But sis, let's not speed past what he said. So say like, just so we're clear, you support reparations. You just want to know tangibly how we will get them. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And I respect you for
Hey,
at least acknowledging that
okay,
you're
let
in
me
support of reparations.
Got you. Let me get FBA Page Boy on here, man. Let him speak. He been on the panel for a little minute. FBA Page Boy, what's
I
good?
appreciate it. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, fam.
Bless. I appreciate it. Bless to the chat, to your platform. Yeah, so I'm gonna just keep it quick, real brief. The whole thing is disingenuous. You know, I don't buy the confusion. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy that. You know, I look at it like this, right? Like they act like we out here pushing for something that's destructive. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't destructive.
Right.
You know, like we pushing for something to repair our community, repair our people. You know, we pushing for something that's owed. First off, it's a debt owed. Like if I worked in the motherfucker, you know, excuse me, and they didn't pay me, I'm coming to get it, correct?
Right.
Like so.
Oh, I ain't leave without it.
Yeah. I put people on game on the labor board, so we don't gotta lift a finger. You could just make a phone call. So anyway, like they act like we pushing for something destructive, and it's like, so you ain't sounding off for the degenerate shit in our communities, you know, that happen daily for decades and shit. Where you at when things is happening in our communities and getting they shit knocked off, and you know, ladies is getting snatched and kids is getting snatched. You ain't sounding off like this. You ain't interest. You ain't concerned.
I
You see what I mean?
always
It's
sound
disingenuous. It's playing
off
dumb.
about it.
You know, it's
Yeah.
no disrespect.
No,
It's
you
just,
good, but I always
you know,
sound. I've been sounding off about it for quite some time. It's just that when it comes to calling out black degeneracy within the black community, you get labeled as a coon because you're not willing to accept degeneracy as a form of, as a part of the community. And my thing is, if we're going to cast out degeneracy, the only way for our community to get better is if we get rid of the degeneracy.
Nah, no one
get kind of
rejects
cool.
people talking about degeneracy. We reject the disingenuous concern. Like for example, outsiders of the black community, FBA community, people like to bring up shit like as if it's a aha moment. Stop playing. You know, that's exactly how y'all do it. Y'all don't do it on no concern like let's come together. It ain't like that. Y'all sit back rubbing your hands like Birdman. That's exactly what y'all do. So on some real shit, like I don't buy it. I don't buy the confusion. Like you ain't confused about nothing else in your life. And if you is, you need to reevaluate that. But here it is. This is something that's, you know, positive. And you sounding off and put it like this. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 before I get off here. You ain't got no pull anyway. You ain't got no control over the shit anyway. Like who is you? You know what I mean? Who is you to negate things? Nothing. You ain't got no control over your shit. You know what I'm saying? Go where you tolerate it. Go where you celebrate it. You get
When
what I'm
you
saying?
say
Why
control,
is you putting so much energy
when you say control over my shit, what you
negating,
mean?
into knocking down shit? Like that's corny.
When you say
You know what I mean?
control over
That's
my
corny
shit,
as
what do you mean
fuck.
by
So
that?
I look at it like this. Let me speak. You know, let me get up out of here. I just look at it like this. Like you ain't got no pull anyway. You don't have no say so. You know what I'm saying? Like while we doing our shit, pushing for what's owed for my people, like it's personal to me. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's personal as fuck to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm wanting to go get it. And here I am in my 40s now. Hey, I sat down. You know, here I am in my 40s. Shit, no, I ain't got no time to go bump my head and do all that. No. But shit, I'm gonna do it the right way. Like right now, we got this internet shit. We got this internet shit. We doing something big, bigger than, you know, any of our ancestors actually had. You know, we can pass the information, we can grow the movement, make people sound off.
So it is a
You know what I'm
movement.
saying? For what's owed for my people. Like I said, it's personal, man. It's personal. But y'all be blessed. Peace.
Yeah, salute. I mean, look, FBA is a lineage, but what we're doing as far as for reparations and our people and just, you know, getting back to ourselves or how we is, that's a movement. But we don't
Can I
want
ask a question?
Go ahead.
So I hear our people, right? When I hear our people,
Right.
what I divide that into is that it's a different group of people outside of Black people, right? So this is why I always get lost on the reparations argument. If the reparations argument is only for people of descendants, or I'm sorry, who are descendants according to their lineage, what about the rest?
United States slavery,
So what
not
about the
foreign
rest?
slavery.
Got you. So what
They
about the
don't
rest?
fuck them. They don't count. That's the point.
So
they're not from
Black,
here.
The rest of
so
listen. The rest of them, sir. The rest of them, the Nigerians, because the
no,
rest of
not
them,
the
I don't know.
Nigerians. No, not the Nigerians. Not the Nigerians. No,
Who
I'm
you
not
talking
talking about
about?
the Nigerians. So
Who you talking about?
people, so people who was born in America, born in the North, who didn't have to suffer through chattel or antebellum slavery.
What the fuck are you
Who
talking
didn't-
about?
Like who? Who?
People who was born
Immigrants?
in, no, not immigrants, black,
Well,
free
the
Black
first-
people
first
who
of
was
all,
born in the North.
All right, so this
Nigga,
is why
what?
you can't really have the conversation if you don't know the history, sir. And I don't mean to
Mhm.
overtalk you, but it's obvious that you just don't have the information, or you're not privy to it, or you're being purposely disingenuous. The North and the South both engaged in slavery. This whole
Absolutely.
conversation about it was just the South and the North didn't go
Right.
through, bro.
Fact.
Like number one, when first of all, if you could even make an argument that it was worse in the North because the North was where all the immigrants were coming in from Ireland and Germany and all these other places, right? The Jewish immigrants, all these people who are now legitimized as white, those people were hostile to Black people because they saw, hey, in order to get closer to Anglos, to whiteness, we need to be more anti-Black to show that we're different. Because if you know history, if you knew the history of the UK, the Irish were basically called niggers. They were the niggers of Europe, right? They were monkeys. That's what they were, right? That's what they still are to a certain extent. That's how they're still viewed by other Europeans. The point that I'm making is you trying to make a distinction between the North and the South. That's the first red flag. That's generally what liberal progressives like to do and talk about. Well, slavery was slavery was a booming industry. Okay, in the South you had cotton picking, you had refinement, you had the farm work, and then in the North you had textile mills, you had the manufacturing, you had those types of things. So it was a system that covered the entire United States. It wasn't just one spot in America where Black
And you
people
know
were.
they fought each other, right? Just because the slave owners in the South made more, you know that's what it was about. It was never that they genuinely wanted to free. They was mad because they was making more money off the slaves than them. Is what the shit took off over. You know that, right?
Absolutely. So, but
okay,
again,
so why would it have not been up north?
So, but again, I'm asking for understanding because what I was taught, apparently I was taught the wrong way, right? And all I'm doing is asking questions. So I have a better understanding. The way I look at it is I think that the fight for reparations is a good fight. I just think it needs to be more action than talking. And that's just me.
Bro, it's a lot of action going on. It's a lot of hearings, and it's a lot of people that really,
And
pushing.
Sal, can you just give us your
This ain't the
suggestions?
time to be walking the streets with all that immigration shit going on right now. That's crazy as hell.
Hell no, not that type of
But Sal, what's your suggestion on how we can obtain reparations? What actions do you think we should take that we're not taking already?
So let me get this right. When was the last case for reparations?
Oh Christ.
On the federal level?
Yeah.
It's not a case, bro. It's the again. I already explained this.
Well,
It's the
I was
first
trying to
thing-
answer that. All right, go ahead.
Well,
And I'm just
there's been several committees set up in each state that suppose they just had a reparations conference in Illinois, in Evanston, Illinois,
One in New York,
and a
one
few
in
weeks
LA.
ago, about 2 weeks ago. But each state's supposed to have its own committee that's supposed to do this HR 40 study to find out how many foundation Black Americans are in each state, also to track your lineage. And then that's supposed to go to the federal level. So that's why when I say we need to start approaching the Congressional Black Caucus a little bit more, putting pressure on them, because they're the ones that's going to be able to get it to the federal level.
House.
And I don't think it's been enough pressure on the Congressional Black
Clear
Caucus in order for
house.
them to be.
They have no fucking use. Clear the house. That's the point.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and that would also give us the opportunity to find out whose Foundation Black America in with them, but also identify the immigrants that are in there that's been gatekeeping this reparation movement stuff from reaching the federal
75%
level.
of their asses. That's why you got to clear house. That's the point. You cannot link with these people.
Absolutely, but those people that's in the house,
No. See, that's what I'm saying. You trying to go through
No,
via
no,
they
no.
way, and the shit ain't been working. So what you mean?
Don't worry about it. The question that
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
going to
Yeah,
ask,
it went over your head. That's the point.
no, it didn't go over my. Okay.
Yes, it kind of did, bro. But
Yeah, let him go. Finish.
Hey, y'all got it. Y'all got it. I understand. Y'all got it. It's not a problem.
But look, all of it comes through the electoral process, whether it's locally or at the federal level. And those officials that have been getting in those offices in those positions, it's because the people have either one, not have showed up to vote in your community, or perhaps you may have voted for the person to be in that position. So I agree with it's time to clean house with that. And I think there should be a certain attention put on Foundation Black Americans being in political office as opposed to having maybe first or second generation of immigrants coming into the nation to be a part of that. And that's the only way we'll be able to gain some type of footing. But I also would like to say this. There was an organization known as the Provisional Government of the Republic of New Africa that was put in place by Obadeli, the Honorable Obadeli and Malcolm X. And there was a few other freedom fighters who had put together a autonomous, independent political party for us, and that it had carved out was called the Code of Umoja. And in this Code of Umoja, it was 5 territories in the United States that was selected. That's supposed to be what's due to African Americans as a part of our reparations movement. That starts from South Carolina, the lower parts of the South, going from South Carolina all the way over to Texas. In that 5-state category, they have laid out the independent platform for us to take advantage of. So I'm asking you this question. Would you think it would be an opportunity for Black Americans now to form their own political party outside of the Democratic or the Republican Party? Because I would think at any time ever in history, this would be prime opportunity and time for us to do so.
Absolutely.
I land at that.
Absolutely, it would. But the thing is, you would have to get everyone to organize to even come a part of that party, right? You have too many people trying to be the leader or trying to be at the top of the game. They don't want to follow. They don't want to be held by anyone else's accountability, nor do they want a responsibility.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because I believe when Black people are put into a certain position where it comes to survival, we have been united in a cause together. So I beg to differ with that.
Why do you think delineation is happening?
Even with that, with the infiltration from all of these outside groups of people that have influenced the people on the inside to go against what it is that they have been taught or what they believe, you see how that crumbles and how that falls. So the way I look at it is this: until everyone comes together as a whole, or until there's a majority over the minority, then what are we doing? It's great that Black people do need to create their own political party, but then you have to get more Black people into politics. And excuse me, a lot of people really don't understand how politics works. They let alone fairly understand how government works.
Where apparently that comes with the political campaigns that are being launched by the people. If the people are solely interested in their self-preservation, then I would see that something of an independent political party could work for the Black community, especially Black Americans, whether you are immigrant Black American or those that identify as being Black in America.
So let me ask you this, right? So even on that premise alone, right? Getting all Black people together, how does that look?
Why would we want to get all Black people together?
Okay, so not all Black people. So get those who are foundationally born in America, get all those people together and create their own political party to participate in the political arena.
Well, like I stated earlier, with the current census, there are 43 Black Americans in the United States, and there's only 8% that are Black immigrants. So 8% only makes up 5 million Black immigrants in the United States. and the rest would be considered connected to Foundation Black Americans,
Now
those
stop
that
right
have
there.
a generation lineage.
Let me stop you right there. So the majority, which is over the minority, based on what you're saying, those people coming together and creating a political party. That's the premise you laying, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I don't see why we couldn't do that.
Well, now this is where
Why did you
my
think they
perspective.
let them go past the infiltrate to be able to do it?
Well,
I didn't hear your question. Your sound went out.
As a new breed generation, I think that's up to us to carve out that narrative of who we define as ops.
Right.
I mean, every organization have ops. Even Democrats and Republicans have ops in between the committees that are made up. But for us, I mean, that's a part of the game that goes along with politics. It goes along. It's a part of the game of politics and economics.
If you wasn't here in the first place, you wouldn't be able to cut in on what the fuck we had going on, right?
Got you.
Y'all
But
get the hell out of here wholesale.
This is what I see as the biggest problem in politics, and it's been going on since the dawn of human history. Anytime you introduce the human element into politics, there will always be backstabbing. And until the human element is changed, until all people have the same intention with the correct goal, then everyone's not going to be willing to go.
Right, but check this out, bro. Check this out. So we normally hear the rhetoric of people that don't want us to get reparations from immigrants or people from outside the country, or I hear some white Americans say that. This is the rhetoric that we hear. Pretty much people from Black America, we understand that it's a debt due. So my point is, this is why FBA and people in the chat, they listening to you and they like, dang, because you saying the rhetoric that, like far right or immigrant would say. They don't want us with reparations. They don't feel like we need. Why you think these people don't want us or feel like we don't need reparations?
They don't want y'all to have, they don't want y'all to have reparations because they understand what comes along with it. And on top of that, look at the percentage of debt that will have to be owed on top of it. If you was to have to put a percentage on the debt that's owed to foundational Black Americans, how much would that percentage be today? How much of that land would have to be? How much of that? We're not just talking about money. Hold on now, because this goes deeper than money, right? We're talking about land as well.
Yeah,
land, all of that, right? So how much of the land would have to be given? They don't want to give that over. You asking them?
Well, the current social. Go ahead.
The debt is unpayable. That's why they don't want y'all to. Well, hold on. Just let me finish for a second. That's why they don't want y'all to have it, because they have to. One, they will have to acknowledge that definitely indeed true that y'all have been done wrong, FBAs, and then two, on top of that, they will have to recognize the fact that it is unpayable. There's not an amount of money or a square foot of land that they would be able to own after they pay it back. That's why they don't want y'all to have it.
100 to 300,000 in cash, so you can have to be able to buy this shit with cash. You can't. How the hell would you get land with no cash? Think about how the hell can you maintain land with no cash? It sounds stupid, don't it?
Well, in the social study itself, in the actual national social study, they have it at 5 million plus any African or Black person in the United States that are part of that reparations movement. They would get their debt paid off. They would get their mortgages paid off. So then that becomes your land ownership right there. You can do whatever you want to with your money. And then again, you're going to need to be able to, at least you'll have something to pass down to the next generation. Because that's the reason why the Black community is in the state that it is in now, because we don't have enough equity placed in our communities in order to keep up with what's taking place in society. So that's why you can see groups come from the outside, like the Indians. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen a large influctuation of East Indians in the United States right now.
I can't stand immigrants.
They come here because they have their tech skills. They have certain skills that we could take advantage of, but they rather bring them.
Fraction of the cost.
They
rather realize that, right?
Well, yeah, for sure. But they rather bring them in on top of Foundation Black America and have them exist over top of us just because of the social dynamic.
You wouldn't have to pay what you have to pay American citizens. You understand how these things work, right?
For sure. I totally agree.
But the elephant in the room.
What are you talking about, bro?
The elephant.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yes,
Mulatto.
appreciate you. The elephant in the room that we are not acknowledging is it's not just immigration that is weakening our demographic vote, and this is why the people that are anti-reparations have the leverage against us because they outnumber us. It's not just due to immigration; it's also due to abortion. So if we as descendants of U.S. chattel slaves don't take a hard stance against mass immigration and abortion and get our numbers up, we will always be in this predicament where we are essentially depending on the majority, whoever it may be, whether
But
it's
mulatto,
whites or Hispanics, etc. We will be in a position where we are depending on them to capitulate to us, which, in my estimation, it will never happen.
but
Really,
mulatto. Here's
gotta get
here's
our
what I'm
numbers.
saying. Here's what I'm
Well,
saying. In
okay,
20, well,
but
here's
there's also another elephant in the room, which is the prison industrial complex. We
I
have
agree.
a large swath of black males that they have put in prison at the same time that they was bringing in these illegals to work. These illegals can come over here and can get green cards, but brothers cannot get out of get out of jail, cannot get the same jobs. They can't even work at McDonald's. Some of them in some states. That's another big one.
Yeah, that's a form of slavery.
So what I,
Great
what I'm
point.
what I'm saying is that when it boils down to mulatto, this is what I was trying to say to you. The whole immigration problem, like this, my biggest problem with the whole immigration thing is that a lot of people were more than willing to have them here instead of fixing immigration. My thing is close the border off because we're not welcome in their country. Why should they be welcome in our country?
And I
Exactly.
never got why people think they
Okay,
should
the
come in.
whole thing was anti-black. This is okay. The whole thing, because FBAs are the only ones that fight for rights in this country, because you've seen after the 1970s, that's when they start coming up with, in the 80s and the 90s, anti-black and putting brothers in jail, because we are the moral compass of this country. But see, they found out that they brought all these people over here, but then people, at first when they brought them over here, then people wouldn't even look you in the eye. But now they taking over, and they say they are not going back. They done got spoiled. But see, the white folks, they didn't realize that they have created monsters from these Mexicans, because these Mexicans, you go to LA, you got to speak
I heard about
Spanish to
that.
get a job.
Well,
I mean, go
that's because
up to Dearborn, Michigan. Them Arabs done
yeah.
took over.
Well, that's because they didn't take
But
they
no,
didn't.
it's
Hold on.
anti-blackness, and
Well, hold on.
they put us in jail.
Well, hold on. The reason I was saying that the reason that is because they counted on these people to be liberal, but they didn't pay attention to the fact that they came from these torn up third world countries.
No, they spoiled them. You can't have somebody
No, I'm
come
not.
from a poor ass country and give them everything, and they didn't have to work for it.
I'm not saying that they didn't. What I'm saying
And
is
then they
that
send most of that shit back to their own country, so the money
Right.
never come back.
Right. So what I'm saying is that politically, their whole entire narrative was to replace the black vote. And they wanted to do that by letting any and everyone in. And they gave them all these different liberties. They gave them all these different benefits, everything that we didn't have access to, even though we the ones that built this country off the sweat of our back.
But peep game, they've been importing Europeans, Arabs, and Asians, and all in between since the 1930s.
Absolutely.
And they put us on the back burner. But I think
they did not import Arabs until after the Civil Rights Bill, because they had a quota on Africans, and they had a quota on minorities, period.
Yeah,
and
but Europeans have always been imported without punity. The Europeans, we ought to also think there is a white immigrant community that has been imported here over the centuries over top of us as well. I mean, you can't forget about them.
They had to bring whites in after the Civil War, because the 600,000 people died in the Civil War. They had to bring the Irish, but see, the Irish had that potato famine, and but we needed workers. They needed workers, but we talking about these new ones that we fought for. We thought they would be allies because we were the only minorities. We were the largest minorities, and we were getting we were getting all the hardship. We thought if we brought these Africans and people of color, so-called people of color here, they would be our allies. But it turned out that, like Martin Luther King said, that we went into a burning house.
Right.
Quick question.
Well, my thing is this.
Hold on.
And my thing is this.
Wait, really quick, because I'm about to step down right quick, brother. Is this the petition you want me to sign?
Yeah. This the
Yeah.
petition,
Can you put that link
man.
in? Can you put that link in the back?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that link in the back. Gotcha. Y'all go ahead.
Hey, what up, though?
What's good,
though?
family?
What up, though?
Hey, what high school did you go to?
In Detroit?
Yep.
Charles F. Kettering High School, right off Van Dyke.
I asked you what up, though, so you should
Yeah,
have
what up,
known
though?
the call back.
I said, what up, though?
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the deal. Do you know
That was on the east side, but I was born on the west side, right off 7 Mile.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I know my city. That's why I got Detroit in my hat.
I see that.
I love my city.
But let me tell you something. It's hard for us to understand where you're coming from. You know John Conyers?
Heard about him.
Okay. He introduced a bill for every 40 years that he was in Congress for reparations. First day out the gate. You know who Keith Williams is?
Heard about him.
Keith Williams is on the Reparations Committee right now. He's been on the Reparations Committee he's been the chair of the Black Democratic Caucus for Michigan and has been on the Reparations Committee probably since it started. He was in Evanston, Illinois. You said your people were Black Panthers?
My father was a Black Panther.
And you have never heard of this reparations things? You've never heard of this FBA movement?
No, I've heard, but I don't know how many times I gotta say that. I've heard it. I was just introduced to it the wrong way.
Yeah, because that's definitely in the 10-point platform as a part of the resolutions for the Black Panther organization. Reparations is certainly stated in that.
Absolutely. But again,
that is going on here is the fact that you say both your parents were Black Panthers.
No, my father was. I never said my mother was.
Are they still alive?
Yeah.
And you have not heard anything about this FBA, about this reparations. You can't get on board with it.
No, I've heard about it. I was just introduced to it the wrong way. I'm gonna just say it like this because I gotta give it a go. The way I was introduced to it was that you have to be or you're not. And I'm not a person. I'm telling you, this is the way it was introduced to me. You have to be, or you're not one of us. And I'm more of the person that I don't go where I'm supposed to go just because everyone says I'm supposed to go.
I feel you on that. But one last question to you. Because you were kind of vague on your background, and then you came back and you said, okay, you're people from here, and you were from there. But that vagueness is why the panel is questioning you. I mean,
no problem with that.
But you should have been up front in the very beginning. If you can't say that your people were from Alabama and that's your grandparents, your great grandparents, and your mother's side from St. Louis, etc., then you were being vague on purpose to deceive the panel.
What I was originally asked was, and this was by Brother Water Guy. He said, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from Detroit, Michigan." Then it was later asked. Then it was later asked, "Where's my grandparents from?" That was from the brother in the baseball cap. But I answer questions the way it's given to me, not the way that a lot of people want me to answer them.
Look here. You were being vague. You understood the conversation. You had been listening to the panel. You were being vague and disingenuous. All right. And with respect to either you're in the group or you're not in the group, no FBA is saying you're not in the group. What if your lineage goes back to chattel slavery in this country? You are FBA, regardless of whether you say you're a Black Panther, or Israelite, or whatever you want to call yourself.
Hell no, not an Israelite.
I'm not. I'm just giving you an example. If your lineage goes back there, you are what we consider foundational Black American. That's all I wanted to say because I just don't feel you, man. I just don't feel you.
That's cool. But see, but this is one of the biggest problems I've always had all my life. I asked too many questions because
Well, he did say he understand a little bit clearer now where this Foundation Black American stuff is talking.
Yep,
He did say he understands a little bit
that's
better.
what we got to do. We got to make
Okay,
people
but
understand.
let me say this. Let me say this. When I was coming out of law school, I went over to John Conyers' office. Right, I knew John Conyers because he grew
You
up
from Detroit?
What up, dope?
What high school you go to?
Henry Ford.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot.
No, it's nothing.
That explains a lot.
you on here, man. Go ahead, Pop.
Now,
Well,
what
your
the
family from east or west?
West.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. My father was
born.
born in Detroit.
Right.
My people are South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. And that's all you had to be clear about. All right. But when you say, you ask these questions, I'll give you my background. All right. My people were Democrats. I broke the rule because when I went to John Conyers' office, he was playing games and the people in his office didn't respect him. I got upset. I became a Republican, but I became a Republican before then, really, because of what happened in '68 with Lyndon Johnson and the fact that they were kicking out the men of the household in order to get welfare.
Absolutely.
All right. So I don't understand when you say you have to ask all these questions. Historically, it's all there. I'm an independent now.
So, and I said this earlier. In 2008, I voted for Barack because he was black. I admit to that. In 2009, when I joined the United States military, that's when I really started asking more questions. I started doing more research. The biggest thing that really got me away from the Democratic Party was I brought home more boxes and flags than I ever want to count. And when I remember Barack Obama saying we're going to bring our soldiers home, and I brought them home in boxes, it pissed me off. Then I go back to my family. I'm asking all these questions about the Democratic Party and why it is that black people have been toe tagged to the Democratic Party. The thing I was told was that's just the black way. That's bullshit to me.
I understand you, and I feel you there. I'm with you there. There are a lot of people on the panel that are with you there. So, all right. I hope the panel has schooled you. That's all. I pray. I pray the panel has made some path into your mentality there.
Yeah, I learned a lot. And I appreciate y'all having me. Let me go ahead and sign this petition. Then I'm gonna bid y'all a good night. Y'all have a good.
Okay, hey, look here, brothers. I would certainly. I'm part of this think tank organization, and I'd like to have all of y'all to kind of weigh in on this because we're actually going to be going after some of these congressional members that's supposed to be representing the black community. And we need a dynamic panel like this to be able to confront those folks. And that's something that's been happening in the black community. We have not challenged the people that we need to be having discussions with. And I'm gonna throw my number out there if that's all right.
Okay, yeah, man.
You come in and come
up there to the panel, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm Brother Eugene.
Okay,
Brother Eugene. I'm a Black Power movement member here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. My lineage go all the way back to the Geechee Gullah people.
Shout out to the Geechee people, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. Geechee Gullah all the way up to the freedom fighters, Nat Turner out of Shenandoah Valley up there in Virginia. That's where my father's family's from. They've been a long time lineage of freedom fighters. My telephone number is 704-426-9947. My name is.
Could you drop it in the chat?
Yeah, I did. I dropped it in the chat already.
Hey, brother from North Carolina, why y'all got that tether that's president over the NAACP crashing out for those immigrants and shit? And LGBT and shit.
Yeah, I know.
Excuse my French.
Yeah, that's what.
Checking these people in real
Yeah,
life.
that for sure. That's what I'm talking about. We got to start confronting these people as a collective group of people.
Them type of games in North Carolina.
As you know, we've been played by the Democrats and the Republicans for more than 3 centuries now, and of course, with that, I say we're a new lead breeder generation. We need to stand up and let these folks know what's on our mind. And if they can't get down with what's happening,
You still didn't answer me.
What's that?
That NAACP president said, "Hey, I ain't heard nobody tell me to stop saying about immigrants." She said that on TV. So y'all ain't doing something right.
Well, the Jewish community run the NAACP.
That's
That's a
true.
part of the
But I
Anti-Defamation
mean,
League. All them
yeah,
people that's been
okay.
infiltrated a long time
Just
ago.
any excuse, brother. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you when we get together to confront. When we get our think tank together.
Well, I'm ready, man.
Yes,
Y'all just
I'm
hit me
down
up.
with
I left my email address on the chat right there. Y'all reach out to me so I can get y'all lined up to be a part of that coalition that we putting together, because we definitely gonna go on the attack. And I think it's long time overdue for us to really get to the real source of what our problems consist of.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I want to record so everybody can see this live when we talking to the people too, man. I feel like that'll be a good look.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right. We got another. Let me see. We got Corey. We got a few new brothers on the line. We got Miss Ursha. Who we got? Oh, Ameswell. I ain't give you a chance to get on, brother. Go ahead. Let me hear what you think about the panel and everything going on today.
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
What's good, brother?
Man,
at the end of the day.
Man, this I ain't gonna lie. Like this whole shit, man. This is like more proof of that the number that they did on us, man. Because
you see,
we got people like the brother in Detroit who think it's something wrong with the term FBA or something that you could join, or you got. It's not nothing that you can't decide to be FBA.
Right.
Like you can't find your way logically into that. Like you either are or you aren't. Your feelings have zero input on the matter. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that's turned off by FBA is because they think that telling the truth is being mean to other people.
Emotionalism, bro.
Yeah. You just telling the truth. You saying what you've seen. You saying what you experienced. And you got all these other people. Oh, that's going to make them. It's the truth. Who the fuck cares what it looks like? It's the truth.
Yeah, and that comes from our own personal experience as well. Our family lineage that's been passed down for generations.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
That too. I agree.
So we sitting here dealing with emotions, and they ain't doing nothing but distracting them. Like we who know what time it is, we really ain't even got to waste time arguing with these people. For real.
Right, but I feel like we gotta get our people, like they gotta understand. It's crazy though, but we can't let them be running around here not understanding. But homeboy seemed like, I mean, he had too much black liberation in his bloodline. You feel me?
Right.
For me to feel like you gotta feel it and know, when you hear liberation, because when I hear y'all and hear how y'all talk, I know y'all with it. So it's just hard for me to not resonate with my people when they own something. You know what I mean? I can peep it. I should be able to understand it and peep it, and I feel like he should too.
Yeah, it was
But
giving
you do gotta understand though, like even us FBAs, we got family members that never heard of the term. You know what I mean? Like I got a great aunt. She'll be 91 on Saturday. She ain't never heard of FBA.
Right.
And I ain't even try to explain it to her because that's a whole, like you played your part. You played your part. You can go ahead and enjoy you know what I mean?
Yeah, your lifestyle, yeah.
But it's a lot of them that really don't know what it is, and
they don't.
bro.
And that's why we got to educate the masses of the people so they'll know what is FBA, because the coin term itself and didn't come online to about 5-6 years ago. Before that, we were just saying ourselves, hey, we African American, we the African American community, we the black community. That's all we've been saying. Now that there's being the controversy with making ourselves distinct in who we are based on our lineage, that's where the conflicts of interest is coming up with the immigrants, because they think that we are people that can be deported. Boy,
but they learn wrong.
Yeah, they have it. They don't know anything about the black community. But I always tell people, I say, man, look, there's a National African American Museum located in Washington, D.C. Anybody, including us, can start right there. because inside that museum, it identifies our history from the time slavery and post-slavery existed in the United States before there was a United States. So for us to be able to go into an institution like that and learn from that, that is certainly a start for anybody who don't have, who is Black American, who is this Black American, because we get a lot of immigrants coming here, including especially those Native Africans. They don't even identify themselves as, some of them don't even know they Black. And I just put it down to you. They don't know that until they got here, because they never had to really deal with racism at the level that we have had, you know. And a lot of them don't understand what's all this black and white conflict of interest. When they come here, most of them are opportunists. They just want to come here, make their money, send their money back home to their people, if they do that at all. Many of them come here and don't even go back home or even help their nation, depending on the state or the condition that their nation may be in. If they come here,
hell, they'll leave their children in that other country and go to fuck over here and go to school.
And that's right. And then they got nerve enough to talk about the Black community, how disenfranchised we are, that you don't have your father, you don't get your father in the house, you know, you got 3-4 babies at home, no father, you know, all this kind of stuff without really knowing what the Black American experience consists of. So that's the problem I have with immigrants. They have not taken the time to learn who it is that we are as a people, independent of the rest of the folks that are here in this nation. They don't even know that many of the laws that they are privy to, such as the civil rights laws and initiatives and the human rights, it wouldn't be no human rights or civil rights without Black America, Foundation Black America. Because prior to that, white people didn't acknowledge none of that for anybody outside of being white, you know?
That's my thing, though. Like, I would just say that, but you left your son overseas is crazy as fuck.
Well, just like he kept degrading the Black community, and well, I turned Republican, I didn't turn Democrat. What? I mean, okay. Well, I'm not a Democrat. I'm an FBA, and I tell everybody, you know, I don't care. So I just he just sounded kind of off.
Well, again, we all been indoctrinated until we came into the light of consciousness, being what we so-called coin being woke now, and that's a good thing. But all of us, I mean, it's some stuff that we haven't learned in school. A lot of us, you know, we grew up, we more know about the white man's constitution than it is our Black Power movement. You know,
that's
and this is just because we haven't learned that
is
in our
our
homes.
Constitution. That is our Constitution, because we are in that Constitution. And we are part of that Constitution. We've been here before 1776. See, that's the problem with us. We don't take pride. That's why I love Tariq Nasheed, because this is our country. But we've been told this go back to Africa, and all. See, that was the whole plan for to bring them over here, and then to tell us that they're gonna take the 14th Amendment away from us. Yeah, that's the thing now. But they get the 14th Amendment, but they're gonna take it away from us. See, that's the thing, that we have been bamboozled, that we should not have pride in our history.
Yeah, but I don't think we should blame the immigrants on that. I think
I'm not blaming the immigrants. I'm blaming America.
Yeah, but it's also on us how we play into the rhetoric as well, because we get a little heated under the collar when somebody come out and they say, "Oh, them Black people, they ain't got no culture from America." I
don't get heated because I know my culture. I know my culture. I know my culture. I know my culture. I don't know nothing about Africa. And I done been to Africa. I'm an Air Force veteran. I done been around the world, and I'm telling you, people around the world, they know about African American culture more than we do. They know about Rosa Parks and everything.
For sure, yes, but we play into it when we act a little dumb about the situation, and we also play into the madness because they say a few things, and then all of a sudden we get heated under the collar. We know who we are, and just like the gentleman said earlier.
I get heated because we weren't told our history until a lot of times until this FBA. We were not proud of our history of this is our country until Foundational Black American came out, and we said this is our country.
But then but still too, you got a lot of Black people, even from Foundation Black America, can't even recognize the fact that they come from African descent. and then they coined themselves African descendants of enslaved people because there was a certain group come here. It was some people that were already here.
I am of African descent, but that doesn't matter. We were still here before 1776, and we are the foundation. We built this country. Our blood, sweat, and tears built this country. The 13 colonies, all of them had enslavement. Massachusetts was the first one.
Right.
We built the ports. We built all the waterfronts. There are mounds in New York City that we are buried up under, that we have not demanded, that they made. They put Central Park over that.
It's mounds and
People don't even know that.
in Memphis too.
Right.
You know that pyramid, like they have in Africa. You know that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's let
And then they
Corey
got
go
plenty.
ahead.
The proof is in the pudding, bro.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Corey.
let me ask a question, bro.
Go ahead.
I think
Go
only
ahead.
one person can talk at once, respectfully.
Go ahead.
What is the point in aligning ourselves with Africans? Like, what would be the material benefit to Black people, Black Americans, in aligning ourselves with people who are wholly unorganized, who do not function as the controllers of resources in their own countries and homelands, even though they make up 90% of the population? Most people on this planet. Let me finish, please. Only one person can speak at a time, guys, please. There is no benefit, like, to me, by saying okay, we can say all day we're descended from Africans. That's cool. That's fine and dandy.
That's not
but
true.
until you've been to Africa, it's not true. But I'm just saying, just to play devil's advocate, right?
Right.
Until you go somewhere and see people's culture and how they live, you're not qualified to say that you're to assign yourself to their group. Like, you can't, you could never tell.
Exactly.
I've been to Africa. Recently, let me finish, please. I've been to Africa recently, recently, not in the past 10 years, recently, within the past year. Okay, I've lived there amongst these people for multiple months. I'm not just speaking as somebody who has this romantic view of Africa. We need to understand the geopolitical reality of Africa and African people. Okay, the reality of the situation is that they are defeated and they're mentally colonized. Okay, the reality of the situation is they give access to resources to non-Africans. They prioritize non-Africans in their own countries. This is not conjecture. This is my lived experience. You understand? So when you talk about, that whole debate about whether or not we're African or Native, that's irrelevant. The debate is about what the government owes us and how much they're going to pay. That's what this conversation is about. As an individual, if you want to align yourself with Africans without even going to Africa and knowing how Africa operates, that's something totally different. That's a different conversation. But we're a separate culture. That's what people are not understanding. It's about delineation. We're separating ourselves from the Africans and the Caribbeans. That's the number one thing. We're separate from them because we have a separate history.
But I think we also need to be realistic. You got to be realistic because a lot of that is driven in the DNA also. We have science and DNA that states the facts these days, and you can't deny that science.
That doesn't matter. Our history is here. Our lineage is here.
I understand
Our lineage is here in America.
Why the God, this here Mama Lisa, can you hear me?
I'm gonna have to mute y'all now. Hold on. Who we had? Corey,
this here Mama Lisa, can you hear me?
Oh, Mama Lisa.
I've been backstage for about 2 or more hours. I've been waiting patiently. I really have.
Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt. Now, 2 or 3 things can be right at one time. Number one, I done told y'all, I wasn't on FBA after Cherie because I didn't understand it clearly. That's the reason I stayed here with Water God. I didn't even know he was FBA, so I can get clarity of it. And we cannot pull people in by arguing with them if they're trying to understand. That's why I stayed, because I'm pushing more and more for that I feel I'm FBA too now. Because I don't, a lot of folks say, show me your receipts. My receipts is you can't make me unsee what I seen. You can't make me unhear what I heard.
Right.
In the 80s, a flood of these Arabs came over here. Let's not forget them in our neighborhoods. And I used to say all the time, I'm going to stop going to the wig shops. I'm going to stop going, getting my nails done, all that. But we're still going, but had the biggest mouth against them. But guess what? I don't go no more. So if we're going to stand on business, we're going to stand on business. Because my money, if my money taken away from them, we got to stop giving them our money. And back in my day, they wasn't calling it reparation. The black folks, the older heads were still saying they want what they call that 8 acre, 4 acre something and a mule. That's right. That's right. So all y'all right in some type of way. All y'all. Mama listening and mama learning as she listening. But let's just have a conversation. We cannot push back on the people that don't understand, because I didn't understand.
You right, Mom. Listen.
How they go, you get more bees or something with honey. I didn't understand, but I didn't come back here up here pushing and arguing and hollering and camping because I want to understand.
Right. Mama Lisa.
I'm gonna go back.
Yeah. Mama Lisa, listen, we wanted him to understand too, but we gotta work on that because our trust is a little broken from the history.
I don't trust nobody. I don't trust none. Like the young man said, I voted Democrat, and I told y'all why. I ain't voted Democrat since Obama first term. That was the last time. I don't see nothing these folks done did for me. That was the last time. And I told y'all why. And the young man was right. Black folks were led and pitted into voting for Democrat. They ain't done nothing for me. My income ain't got higher or lower. Instead, unless I go get it. Me and Papa. You understand? So it's right. Y'all right. These folks don't like us, Africans, and none of them. I worked with them in the hospital. I worked in the hospital. I told y'all for over 30 years. You know what they call one another? Brother and sister. They didn't call us that though. They consider themselves. They don't like. Tell you the truth, none of these immigrants like us. And we didn't have sense enough to gatekeep a white person or an Asian person to come out with a rap or dancing like us. What we doing? Yay. Not me. But they gatekeep us. And the ones up there, way up there, the rich people's money, the Beyonce's and all them, they ain't think about this here. Because they got it. And the ones that didn't have it, that got it from the mud, it was us that had their back. But when they get up there, what they do? Forget all about it. They're talking about 50 cents and all that. That's right, baby. You sure right, baby. Like I'm saying, y'all got some right in the game. Y'all. But I'm listening. My mama used to say, we don't never get too old to learn. I'm up here now. I got more years behind me than your mama ever have in front of her. But I ain't too old to learn. Now y'all go ahead. I'm gonna drop it. I wish I knew how to write in the chat and be up here on a pound too, but I don't. And that if Miss Nikki and it's a nothing. I don't know how to make stuff blue and tell the people thank you in yellow when they give a super chat. But that's my job. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna go on back down here in the chat. I love all y'all.
Love you too, Mama.
I love her so much.
Love you too.
All power to the people.
All power to the people. So listen, I got some. I'm gonna let Corey get off. I want him to get off, but I want to bring the conversation not on the $1.7 trillion that we got, the spending power. We jumped on it last night, the night before, and it kind of went left. But I want y'all to all speak on what we could do with the 1.7 trillion that we have in spending power. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, listen, my only point in being on this panel, I'm not trying to ignore your question, Water God.
Yeah.
I just need people to understand, the whole concept is not to align ourselves with Africa. That's my whole thesis statement. Do not align yourself with Africa. We're not African. Right. Okay.
Get there.
We're not
they
African.
Trying to go trying to slip themselves in.
Do
not give it a show.
We have a separate history, a separate culture, separate lineage. We have to stop aligning, because this whole movement started because people are latching on to us, pretending to be us, and undermining us politically and economically. So it wouldn't make sense for me to say that I'm of African descent and then try to get reparations. And now all of a sudden, all the African people in America, or African descended people, which includes Caucasians, which includes Arabs, which includes Europeans, okay, it's not beneficial for us to start saying we are African. Where it's beneficial for us to say we are American. This is our history. This is our culture. This is our country. We've contributed to this country more than any other group. I'm not going to align myself with Ubuntu from Nigeria. I'm not going to align myself with Thomas from Kenya. That's out.
I think we're making the same point, though. You just said it in a different way, but we're making the same point, brother.
Right, but I'm just saying, only one of us can speak at once. I think there should be order,
Mhm.
right? Rather than interrupting people
Right.
endlessly.
Go ahead. I'm
People
gonna have
should
to
get
mute
their thoughts
y'all.
off. Right.
Go ahead, Corey.
So the most, I don't care what people do with their money. There, first of all, it's a lineage, right? So there's some people that's Republican, there's some people that's libertarians, there's some people that's common, whatever. Take your pick, but understand that you have a separate culture. You can have whatever political ideology, exercise routine, sexual habits, dietary habits, but understand that underneath all of that, we have a shared history and cultural practices. Most importantly, a shared history, a shared lineage, our ancestors. The most important, one of the most important pieces. Okay, we're not Hamites, we're not Africans, we're not Continentals. All of that is out. Okay, Malcolm X did not come from Africa.
Right.
Elijah Muhammad didn't come from. None of these people came from. Dr. Amos Wilson, Francis Cushman, whoever you want to talk. None of them came from Africa. They were not African. Okay, we can look at history. All we got to do is look at history and see that the Africans have a history of betraying and undermining each other for their own personal benefit. Okay, and I'm saying this is somebody who went over there with curiosity, and I said, "What's going on over here?" And I saw it with my. I'm just telling everybody, aligning yourself with Africa ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. And I land my plane.
Facts. Okay, you're gonna land your plane now. So now we speaking on the $1.7 trillion in spending power we got. I want to know because we're gonna kill that African theory. Y'all see here, I brought up Albert Perry. His DNA traced back to the United States. That's the oldest traced DNA. So we got to stop saying we originated from Africa when we don't have factual evidence to say that. The evidence don't say that Black people came out of Africa.
Can I speak on the money?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Listen, because that is very important. Well, I do have African ancestry, but I'm an FBA. But you cannot deny DNA. I got Native American, I got European, and I have Sierra Leone. I got different parts because they were nomads back then. They traveled from one part of the country to another. So when they try to align us with Benin and all this, I mean that's a bunch of bull crap. Because they were nomads. But anyway, getting back to the money, I do think that we need to maybe get together and have a bank or have some type of collective fund and have an overseer so we can get businesses. This is one thing. Every city that they're supposed to be black, they have a black mayor. We have no businesses. The young kids, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to have like a racetrack and stuff for like young boys, because our young black men do not have anything to run off their testosterone. White people, they go hunting. They have speedboats. They have this and that. We need something for the young black men to get a black man back to be men, because we're women, but we have been elevated to try to be the man and the woman and fry the bacon and put it in the pan. So that's what we need to be focused on. The young black boys and have them something to run off that testosterone. That's why they be running around trying to kill. I mean, that is just they're men. They're not women. I don't have testosterone, even though my mouth does. Okay, with that, I'll land my plane.
All right, so that's her take and what she do now. Who we got next? Let me see who I'm gonna get next. I got Double O. Let me get what you saying, man. $1.7 trillion. We want to know like what we need to do with it. Go ahead, Double O. Double O, you there? Double O. Old school, man. He don't hear. He can't. He probably ain't got his mic on. We got Daryl. Go ahead, man. Let me get your take, man. 1.7 Double J just came back.
So I'm good to talk now.
Yeah. You good. I got you next, Double O.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to work this thing.
Okay, you next. Hold on. Go ahead. Let me let him go. Go ahead,
So you
Darryl.
talk about what the spending power. I would say, like you said, do all funds, like you say, kind of have like start a family business, except with family members. But the way investment groups do it, except start it with your own immediate family. And be one of many ideas, but I can't just come up with stuff off the top of my head necessarily. Bunch of different ways things could go and that sort of thing.
Got you. So you saying go right for the family. I feel you. I feel you. All right, Double O. Double O, you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. You hear the topic,
Okay,
man?
cool.
We're gonna talk about this 1.7 trillion.
What you say now? What?
$1.7 trillion a year spending power we got. What should we do in your opinion?
Man, well, they need to cut the defense. They need to cut the defense, and they need to cut the Jewish funds they send to them. You know, just to start us off.
No, $1.7 trillion. I'm talking about FBA, our culture, our people. We spend
Okay.
Every year.
Man.
1.7 trillion. So what would you say we could do, to make to get our liberation going with that?
Well, I think that's going to take some time. I think we just need to get organized organically, like we're doing right now. Right now, I think this is the time to organize our political views and our political standpoint, so we have more power when they ask us, will you support our candidate? You know what I'm saying? We need to vote as a block. That way, we can never be targets when it comes down to, somebody being a leader. Because, as Tariq said, he ain't the leader, it's our lineage, right? So we need to get organized on our political block, so we know what we're doing when it's time to vote locally, state, and in the federal presidential election. If that makes any sense.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Give us a start.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a start. Let me let everybody get back before I give y'all what I think we should do. Darryl went. Brother Eugene, we had enough. Brother Eugene, you want to give us a take? 1.7.
Yeah, Black Power. Yeah, you could just round that off to you can round that off to 2 million annually. But you can round that off to 2 trillion annually. But we forget that we are black taxpayer dollars going into the United States government, which is another $1 trillion. So altogether, you're looking at a GDP of 3 trillion that we're spending annually in this nation, and is not getting anything out of it back from the United States. So all of our monies that we putting into the till, when we come to the local and federal government level to ask for certain things, we can't even get it. And that reflects in many of our communities that you see today. They so dilapidated, but they got money going to everything else except for the people who helped build this nation. As 43 million Africans living, black people. 43 million plus people living in the United States. If we even just contributed $1 a year, that's 43 million that we can have a year. And if we did it on a 12-month schedule, a centralized bank for black people could certainly be our own reparations and being able to move ourselves out of poverty, because with the banks itself comes with loans, comes with being able to purchase land, and it can be backed by the collective on a political move. I say this because I do have a background in both politics and economics, and just looking at some of the statistics that we have right now, our Black Americans, we got a lot of money going in, but we coming out, but we putting a lot back in and not getting anything out. And we're in bad shape right now. And that's some serious discussions that we need to have. And that's certainly what this political economic think tank session will be certainly all about, because we need the Black community, and especially FBA, to come out and make some demands, but also put ourselves in a position where it's time for us to draw a line in the sand with America itself. We need to find out what is America's intentions for Black people in America, because we've been going around the barn for a couple of 100 years now. We've been out of slavery for about 167 years, I believe. And it ain't been that long, 70 years for Jim Crow, which is basically apartheid. and then we went through the Black Power movement, and now we're in the same position economically as our ancestors coming out of slavery in 1865. So I landed at that. Black Power.
All right.
Yeah, but I think, wait, hold on a second. But I think some of that is going to happen on its own. I think the problem with foundational Black Americans is that we don't feel as a unit right now. I think this FBA talk of us coming together as a lineage is the beginning of our group that we can build power with some structure. I think some of these talks we having about reparations is going to give us structure in order for us to build on what the brother just said. It's not going to happen like the way it is right now. There needs to be structure, and I think structure of us coming together the way we're coming organically is going to build some structure for us. And then once we feel like we're getting some movement on these reparations statewide, it's got to go through the states. Because I'm in California. So California, they messed it all up. Gavin Newsom, he flipped. You know what I'm saying? He killed it all, So I just think we need to do what we're doing organically, happening on its own. And then by each state that's going on with these reparation hearings and making it solid, that's going to make us build something about the brother talking about how much power we spending and putting into some of these programs so we can build generational wealth for our children and passing it down with some structure. Right now, we ain't got no structure.
Well, first of
all,
that
makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. And I also have to say this, what if reparations never come to fruition for us? So then what's the next step? So it's not guaranteed that these people we will see reparations within our time period. So until that,
we still got that millions of dollars that he just asked. What we're gonna do with it? That's not about reparations.
Right. That's what we're talking about right now. So we
because we can make basically the amount of money that we have as a collective. We can post our own liberation. We don't have to wait for reparations for some people that may not never give it to us.
That's true. That's true. But I think we still need some structure. We still need structure that's happening organically right now. Everybody's pushing in different directions, pushing real hard. I think we just need to continue what we're doing, let it happen organically. If the reparations never come, by us coming together as a unit, as we feel right now, that will turn into something organically on its own. We just need to feel everybody coming together right now, which is the most important thing that everybody can feel. It's talking all over the internet. Everybody's talking about it. Even on national television, they talking about it. So we feeling the power that we got right now, and the organic position that we're pulling in is going to happen on its own. If we get reparation or not, we're going to say, okay, well, cool. We together now. What we going to do now? That's going to happen on its own. That's the organic power that we going to have by itself.
For sure. And that's why I state that we should be able to draw a line in the sand to state our relevancy here in the United States. And sometimes that may have to come with revolution.
Right. But
that may be. But right now, we just need to continue.
This is the revolution. FBA is the revolution. That's why everybody mad at us.
I love her.
But listen, we talking about $1.7 trillion, right? So what I would say is we got to make sure that we spending a percentage of our money has to be guaranteed going back into who we are and what we have. So if you look at everybody credit card and bank statements and you FBA, your money needs to be going to where it needs to be going to, where we feel like it's going to better us. Some portion of it, we're gonna have to stand on money business, and then that's gonna push everything forward, because 1.7 trillion, we looking past the little $10, $20, $30 that we could be accumulating and having, 200-300 million right now, or half of.
Well, see, that's what I think is going to come out of this. What you saying is the putting money in these pots and this group or whatnot. That's going to happen on its own. We're going to feel the power in what we have. We're already feeling it right now. So eventually these putting money into certain situations is going to happen on its own, especially if they don't give us reparations.
And we got
But I
plenty
think
black banks. We got plenty black banks all throughout the United States that a lot of us don't even patronize.
We don't want the small hats banks. No. We need
Well,
to
you gotta,
start our own
well, you got to start
institutions.
those
We need to start
institutions.
our own institutions.
Those own institutions have been around
And
for many
we can
years.
use the same regulations that they use. We can use the same regulations because we got some smart folks. We don't need them. We need our own. We don't need them over our money.
Yeah, I think, but you got to start somewhere, though. You got to start with people.
Okay.
You
Well,
got to
then you
start
start
somewhere.
there. Yeah, okay, you start there because you sound like Cory Booker. No.
But just a straight talk. You got to start. We got institutions, financial institutions have been around there that we don't even patronize.
Okay. You start with your institutions.
No, because you yourself probably got a bank account with Wells Fargo or Bank of America.
But I also got money up under my mattress because I'm an OG, you know. So and you know when you talking about a think tank, I can't be part of your think tank because you know you sound like Jasmine Crockett and all them. You know,
You know, but you got to speak with some intelligence also. You can't always speak from.
But my
just
intelligence might not be yours, honey. Now you really sound like a bootleg. Okay.
Well, you know, education is fundamental. Education is fundamental. I don't care how you put it. And the ones that are educated know how to deal with situations more so than somebody that don't. That's just fundamental.
Well, if that was the case, how come we don't have our own banks now? All these educated folks.
I keep telling you, we have banks that have been around. We have banks that have been around since the early 1900s. Black banks that still exist.
They are part of the FDIC. They are still part of the system. We need to have our own system.
Federal regulated. If you have a business in the United States, you have to be federally regulated. There are rules to the game. And I think that's where we go wrong.
Let me tell you something. The Irish and the Italians, they have their own little thing off to the side, and the little hats them too.
So do the Red
we don't even know about.
Well, Bank of America is Italian. Is Italian origin.
But I'm not talking about that. I ain't talking about that Bank of America. They got banks in Italy that we don't that is not regulated at all.
Right. On this, but I understand where you coming from too. Like I'm with her. I want to have our own stuff. I don't want to keep depending on anything with them, but I get where you coming from. We got to start
for sure. That's self-determination,
right.
And that's another thing too. We can't demonize our educated people, those ones that have gone to school, have upper level training to get us into a position that we can be more progressive.
I have a master's degree. But also have a master's degree in niggerology. So I'd rather take that. I'd rather take that niggerology one because the other one has not worked. Because AI is coming.
And that's because we're caught up in a systematic. That's because we're in a systematic structure that have held us back for so many years, and a lot of that has to do with the white power structure. And until we're able to face reality,
it's not going to stop just because we have some money and put it in the bank.
Well, that's what you call self-determination. Self-determination comes with that.
Hey, we could talk about all those educational degree stuff all we want. The bottom line is everything that we're doing right now, we're talking to these boards, these commission boards and all this stuff is going to make us realize that we need to have our own. So just like any other bank that's going on right now from different states, different cities, that's going to come out of these state commissions. That's going to be part of the talk that we're going to be talking about when it's time for these states to start giving reparations, because it started in San Francisco. That's where I'm from. I'm from San Francisco, where they did the first study in California was in San Francisco in the Fillmore. That's where I was born.
That's
so when that happened, I don't know what it's called, but what I'm saying is that was the first study in the United States as far as in recent times. So what Gavin Newsom did with his Boule people in the Black Caucus in California, they destroyed the whole thing. They was ready to sign it. They were ready to put up for a vote and
And
sign on
San
that.
Francisco gerrymandered all of those nice homes that black folks had,
Yes,
and now
yes.
they're worth like $10 million. All of those
Well, they
nice
were.
brownstones.
Yeah, they worth some money now through the times, but yeah, they redlined us all out of there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people went up to Sacramento and bought the lower homes that cost less money. But the issue that I'm trying to bring to the top is that we, out of these commissions that's happening in each state, like the brother said about these banks, that's going to rise up to the top of what we need as far as bullet points of what we want in these reparations for each state. And the bank's going to be in there. It's going to be in there that we need to have our state banks and we need to have a national bank. So if everybody's following code, if everybody's on the same code, this is all going to happen in different states. So this is what's going to happen organically. I don't think we need to be peeling off to the right, to the left, left center, left bottom. I think that we all headed in the right direction. It's a beautiful thing that's happening right now. I don't think we need to get off track to what's going on right now, because when it comes time to voting, we're going to be voting as a block. There ain't no leader of this block. It's a lineage. So when it's time, hey, who we supporting? Everybody gonna be talking in these different think tanks and online and everything. Who we voting for? Who we want and who we don't want? All these immigrants that's being a representative in different states right now. We want them out of here, especially in the black community. We want all FBAs representing black communities. That's a congressman. Hopefully, can get up to a senator. This is what we should be concentrating on right now, besides reparations, until we get it. We need to put these people in place so we can get the things that we need, like this bank stuff we talking about right now. Where's our dollars going?
For sure. And I totally agree. You got to start somewhere. And we're not too far off the mark what's happening right now, because it takes discussions to make things happen.
Absolutely.
This is actually a little mini think tank that we have going on right now. And if we bring the masses towards what we're doing as a collective group, I think we'll get
times 1,000, because they're everywhere online.
For sure.
Yes,
we'll definitely get the output for what we need. Well, I think sometimes too, we got to stop paying too much attention to what's going on with the immigrant situation, because that's something white America controls, who they let in the United States and who they let out. And I think if we concentrate on what we need, continue to concentrate on delineating, but also concentrating on what we need.
Well, that's a part of it, though. That's a part of it, though. You can't knock that out. That's got to be a part of our lineage that we going towards. These people, these Jamaicans that's in the Congress, in the Congress representing black communities, they need to go. That's a part of the delineation of what we're doing. We can't just leave them in place, and then when it comes to voting on shit, if they ever let us vote on anything, you already know what they gonna do. So yeah, we got to concentrate on the immigrants. We got to concentrate on FBAs representing FBA communities.
I agree.
So don't be saying nothing about. Yeah, don't be saying we don't need to be not concentrating on immigrants. That's not. Come on, man. You got to.
I think what it is though. When I'm talking about the immigrants, I think we're spending too much time fighting against a 8% group amongst Black America that don't have the power. Because we're
in the beginning of structuring this.
Yeah, we're
no. We're in the beginning of structuring this right now. You see the way you saying is like. We need to be worried about them, but they in office right now. They controlling our power of our vote. So why are we leaving them in office if they not important? That doesn't make no sense.
Well, I don't know when you came in on the conversation, but we definitely have been talking about this for the last couple of hours, and we know that we need to approach the Congressional Black Caucus right now as far as our approach, as far as what are we making demands for them to do. Because if they're not going to do for us, then we definitely got to start confronting them and say, hey, yo, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. Exile. It need to be a coup. We need to do a coup. We need to have a black coup in the United States to remove these politicians that have not have our best interests in hand.
Hold on. We shouldn't be talking like that online. Let's just keep it straightforward. But as far as locally in our states, the black caucuses in each state, yeah, we need to handle that. That's where our power is right now. It ain't federal. You already know what's in federal right now. But when it comes time to the midterms and the presidential elections, by that time, we should be more organized about who we want in office and who we don't.
right?
Facts.
Can I come up after dude?
Yeah,
Or
go
what
ahead.
about-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Much respect, salute to everybody on the panel. I was just sitting back listening over here, but it's some things that I just want to address, and of course, a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna say right now is opinion based. I'm not speaking objectively, and sometimes, and I think it's still a female in here too. So, a female just came in through the door for me in the barbershop. Nah, we're not about to talk about. Yeah. It's just me and my upbringing. From North Carolina, down south type dude. So I'm gonna try to keep it All respectful. right, that's what's up, brother. I'm right here in Charlotte. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Wilmington, baby.
Okay, we in
Word up,
North
Carolina.
North Carolina in the house.
But check
1898, before Tulsa.
Yeah. Okay.
North Carolina
in the house. Yeah, I feel good about
Hometown of Michael Jordan.
Dang.
Yeah, that's what's up. I didn't know that much fan was in here, but let me say this right quick. But what we were, I was listening to some of the conversation, and see, I know we want to do. It's not 1940 or 1950, and it was you really they was getting a lot of things out the mud because no one was assisting. See, but what most people don't realize that other races still have to, whether they like you or not, it's called business, and this is why I try to teach. Talk to the youth and let them understand things about sports. Because sports can teach you a lot of things. That quarterback is not a great quarterback if those linemen don't block. A lot of times they're all white. They have to work together at some point in time for the betterment. When I heard the thing about we need to do our own and this, that, and the own. Look, white people ain't did it on their own. Indians, Asians, you might think that. No, you have to outsource or get something that you can't do, or it's going to save your company money. You might have to partner with someone, and most of the times they don't really like you. But guess what?
Have a good night, water guy.
I like your business relationship. And sometimes we're so far behind on this thing with the business and trying to build it up and get all hospitals, banks, and all that kind of stuff like they had in the 40s and 50s. People be like, oh, we got it way better and all. No. Relatively speaking, I can understand why someone would say that. Just like I wouldn't trade my childhood for nobody in the 2000s or the 90s because I didn't have the internet and all that stuff. But you cannot tell me riding my bike and having an Atari and all this stuff. It was, relatively speaking, I didn't have to deal with what they're going to have to deal with. I was cool with it. So business-wise, as far as advancing, you're not about to make it without don't forget the white people. We don't need them. I don't hate white people because of their skin. That's the difference. Those who supremacists, they hate you because of the color of your skin. I hate other races because what they do against my people. That's the difference. I'm willing to work with you, but if you're working against me, I don't care if you're black. I don't want to deal with you. See, and that's the difference. I'm like, yeah, we got to build up and build relationships, read some more books and understand building how to build friends and relationships. And if you read books, I know you already know what I'm talking about. It's not about so much the race because some of your best contributors and helpers are not even in your family. They'd be some of the biggest haters, so to speak. They won't even come out. Everybody else is supporting you. So you have to take that and put that in your mind as well when it comes to black people. We are trying to progress. I don't hate immigrants, Africans, or none of that. But I do detest the ones that are against us. You're trying to undermine us and do things to put us behind. That's why they created the word tether. That's why they did that. They don't understand it, but it's coming along and they understand, okay, yeah, I guess I am. You don't even have to be here to be a tether. You're undermining black people, foundational black Americans over here, and
this delineation, I don't delineate from people that's trying to help me. We're talking about people that's trying to hurt you, undermine you, take money from you, your tax money, and your resources, and they cool with it. I'm not. And I'm going to stop right there because went longer than I wanted to. But I appreciate your water, God. Y'all finish going on that. Let me get off my soapbox.
I get you on that.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out. Have we had tethers for 100 years? Have we been around tethers, no matter what color they is, for the past 100, 200 years? I mean, what we calling them people? I mean, hate. We don't even have to say hate, but we've been a target for a long, long time. So I can call them a tether all day, no matter what color they is. But at the same time, we know we had these forces against us for hundreds of years, brother.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We got internal enemies amongst ourselves also.
Well, I wouldn't say it like that. I wouldn't say it like that. I'd just say it like, white, black, green, whoever, non-FBAs has been our enemy from Jump Street. What are we talking about here?
But I also think that we got to be smart enough to understand that we live in a multicultural world, and we also must have allies to be able to progress in the world. Because, I know a lot of folks are on this African thing right now, but some of FBA do come from Africa, and to separate ourselves to the point to where we don't have access to the resources that come out of Africa when all the rest of the world is headed towards getting where the resources come from.
Got no prop. Listen, this has nothing to do with us politically. We're just focusing on here in America. We're not. This ain't no hate in no groups, and a lot of people be saying this.
We're just talking from a business standpoint. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you don't have to be to be in bed with the people, but you in order to survive, you got to have access as a part of
what we're gonna handle the business.
What revolution is really about. Revolution is about the people, the lands, and the resources. And those who have all three are the ones that are able to rise up above the rest.
Hey, listen here, man. Listen here. Let me ask you something on a serious note. If we got 40, 50 million people, FBAs in this country, do you know the average vote when they vote for the presidency? It's an average about 100 million, 110 million. If we got 50 with the kids involved, let's say we got a strong 35 million. Do you think either party needs our votes in order for them to win? And if they do, oh, you don't think they need our 35 million? You don't think they need them?
Well, the white population by itself is more than 60 million people. So if you look at the dynamics of the overall category,
listen, brother. Listen,
what did you say? 60 million? You got that wrong. You mean 60%.
Listen.
60%. That's a big difference.
I think it's 43. It's 43. It's 43 million African American Black people in America. There's 60-something million.
I mean, 43 plus
60-something million in
okay. Well, let's not argue the number right now. All I'm trying to say is that our voting block is very important to what side will win. Let's just use that for a mathematical issue. So I think that our voting block, if we stay together like we're coming together right now, I think that's very important as a number, no matter which side we decide to go to. So the point I'm making is that is power. That is saying we want something for our vote. That's the most important thing, that we can come together as one in order for it to mean something to what we demand and what we need.
Yeah,
that's how we get it.
Let me say this. Let me ask y'all a question. Hey, let me ask y'all a question, man.
Go ahead.
Hey, so bro, so you just said, with all what you just said about our vote, do you really think our vote really, like, first of all, the Electoral College, they decide who the president is. All right. I'm not even a political guy. I just know the basics. Like, I don't even really know the basics, bro. I'm just what they talk. taught us. So I do know that much, and I know a lot of Negroes is lacking when it comes to that information.
Okay,
So
but do you know what the
listen,
swing
on
state? Do
top
you
of
know
that,
what a swing state
finish
is?
this point. Let me finish it. Let me finish this point. On top of that, on top of that, my man, this is a problem. If my man just said that there's only 60 million white people, and I said it's 60%, that's out of 340 million people in America. So therefore, you guarantee. I think.
We have other cultures though too.
Listen,
You got the
listen,
Arabs,
listen.
Do you know
you
what
got
a
the
swing state
Asians,
is?
you got the
Hold
Arabs, you got
Do
the
you know what a
Hispanics.
swing state is?
I'm gonna mute y'all. Let them go. Let them go. Go ahead, Dave. Dave, go ahead. Dave. Dave. Man, we're not.
Okay, because what the other brother said
Rob called me.
that we
Hold
have
on,
the
I didn't
power.
stop for you. Hold on, I didn't
I'm
stop
sorry.
for
Go
you. I
ahead.
stopped for Rob because he was trying to control the show.
Go ahead.
What he say?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get
All
off.
right. So it's over 200 million white folks. Like I tell my white folks when I talk to them, they don't need us for no fucking votes, bro. This shit is all an illusion.
That's correct.
We're playing in the wrong system. Why are we even talking about their currency? If you're talking about like all over, man, all over the globe is white Europeans currency all over the globe. Why are we still trying to function with? I'm not talking to you,
telling the truth, though.
ma'am.
You're
I'm
not telling
not
the
talking
truth.
to you. Let
But
me
you're not telling the
talk.
truth.
Then you correct me after. I'm not gonna
But you're
show you
not
no
telling the truth.
respect. If you don't show me no respect, I'm not showing you none. Listen,
Okay, go
this
ahead.
is my whole point. Why the fuck are we trying to work within a system? Because we want their riches. That's right. We want their riches. Well, we can grow our own food. We can go to this government and say, look, y'all gonna have to give us some land. We're gonna carve out our own space. We're gonna police our own self. Man, bro, we got textile skills. We can engineer everything we want based on our own brains and our own hands, our own mind, our own self-autonomy. We do not need these people to survive, man. Life is simple. We got to get back to the basics. Y'all making this shit complicated because y'all talking about participating in a system. Bro, you don't even need all of that, bro. I'm about to go to the Philippines. I'm about to go over there, get these people toilets, get these people light. I'm about to set these people up. Starting in all of this, I'm about to take this out of the Catholic Church and working for free. I'm about to have these people. Man, listen, bro. I'm not gonna talk too much. Listen, I'm doing it different. Right. I can't do all that with y'all because y'all can't agree on nothing. There's no code. Y'all can't agree on nothing.
So we
But
just
those people
gonna
over there,
take it. We just gonna take it, huh?
No.
We just gonna take it.
These are black folks over there, man. These black folks. You know what I'm saying? We have Buffalo
I ain't worried
soldiers.
about the Philippines, yo. I ain't worried about the Philippines. What you talking
Leave the
about?
military and go over there and work on it. Bro, we're gonna have to spread this shit out because that's what everybody else is doing. Gathering all these nations together to go against us. So we do need allies. It is what it is. We gotta have our own thing, and we're gonna have project shit on this earth. Bro, whether you realize it or not, Black Americans, FBA, we are the gods, bro. Listen, we are the leaders, bro. Everybody is waiting on us. So I don't know what you talking about. You don't know your power. You really don't, bro. Everybody really waiting on us, bro. It's up to us.
So you basically talking about a revolution. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
We talking about just taking what's ours. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, damn,
it may very well take a revolution. It very well.
We don't have to go revolution and blood as long as they
revolution come in many forms. Revolution come in many forms.
Right. As long as you're right, exactly. As long as they give us our own space, bro. They
ain't giving us nothing, yo. They're not giving us nothing. What you talking about?
So why we up talking about a check for? What you want to check?
He's talking about the reparations.
Look here.
He's talking about reparations.
That's plan B or C, though. That's plan B or C, though.
You want to check when they can just cause inflation? What the fuck that's gonna do? That shit don't make sense, man. I'm done, bro. Like, if y'all can't see this shit, you need to go back to the basics, man. Y'all overcomplicating this shit, man.
Hey, bro, we see your view. We see your view, and we understand exactly what you're talking about. But
back to the basics.
Our culture is very complex, and our experience is very complex also. But it takes conversation.
What is it that you need at the end of the day? Answer that. The five
need
basics,
money.
right?
We need money,
Shelter,
food, and
raiment.
shelter.
got 1.7
Raiment.
billion.
We need money,
But you
food,
arguing what you
shelter,
mad about is
jobs.
you want the material. What you need jobs for if you can have everything that you get from working.
Well, that's
Work for
materialism.
yourself.
That's material too, though. All of
But
it
it
adds
sounds
up.
like that's what y'all on here mad about, materialism.
No,
Y'all
we
want
actually
contact and materialism.
no. When we
Okay.
first started this conversation, it was about Foundation Black America and where is our stance at as far as the reparations movement is concerned. But it's also about self determination.
Yeah.
That's what the initial conversation is about.
That ain't what the title said. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But what you trying to, you know what I'm saying? We can get a check, but they can also inflate the market also and take it right back from you. I mean, George Soros used to do that a lot, right? I mean,
and that's
look
why
at what
we
he
need
did. Look at what
offshore.
he did with the Black Lives Matter.
That's
y'all
why we
thought
need
that was a
allies
grassroots.
and we need offshore banking as
But
well.
you just
We
said
need.
that we don't need allies.
I didn't say that.
I said that.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, I said that.
There
But I want to get back to
you
the
go.
voting thing because swing states, which is
She
Wisconsin,
asking white people
Michigan,
for power.
Pennsylvania, you're the one said that we don't have power. We are the ones
You
that
asking
decide
white people for
elections in
power.
the swing states. The swing
You
states, the
asking white
black
folks
vote
for
decides.
power.
The black vote in the swing states decides
Why are you
all the
asking white
elections.
people for power for?
Oh my God. The swing states, do you know what the swing states are? The
My God.
Wisconsin,
Man,
Milwaukee
I'm
decides.
overstanding that shit. Why
The
are you
black
asking? Why
votes
you
in
begging white
Milwaukee,
people for
but
power?
but
That shit
don't
has
say
not
that we
worked. It failed us,
don't
man.
have power. Don't say that because it's the
Man,
swing
why
states
are you
where
asking
black
them for
people
power?
live: Milwaukee, Detroit, Atlanta,
This is exactly why our
Philadelphia,
community in the state is in. Because y'all
North
failed
Carolina.
us. Y'all failed
Okay,
us.
look up swing
That
states.
older
That's
generation
why
failed us.
they're
That's why we
called
like that.
swing states because when we come
Because
out
you
and
still
vote,
relying on
we decide
politics.
elections.
Okay,
Game wasn't built for you.
Well, the
That's
only
what they call. That's why
solution,
they call swing
the
states.
only solution is revolution.
That's why they're called swing states. So we do have
The
power.
only
We have
solution
power.
Right.
is black
Pretty much.
revolution.
Pretty much.
Right. Two people can be right at the same
We
time.
could. I agree with you, man. It could be it could be violent revolution or non-violent. However you want it. It's got to be a
And that's what
We're
I say.
talking
revolution.
about that revolution stuff. You're gonna have the FBI
Hey, no, it ain't
putting
nothing.
this
It ain't
news
nothing. Hey,
YouTube
look,
channel
it
down.
hey,
Ain't
it
nobody
ain't
talking about
nothing.
no
You said
damn
we don't.
Hey,
You,
look here,
revolution.
you
sister.
said
I'll see
you
y'all
Look here,
later.
sister.
you
Hey, look
said
here,
I ain't
sister.
FBA. Shit, I'm
Hey,
FBA as it get. I'm Gullah Geechee, baby.
You're
and
gonna
Shit,
have
my
this news
people,
on YouTube channel blocked.
my
hey,
people,
look here, sister.
my
It ain't
people
nothing that
helped
they don't
end.
know
My
already.
people helped
Oh
end
shit.
slavery.
Oh
It
shit.
ain't nothing that they
Hell,
don't
you're
know
gonna have
already.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you
She
can't be
running
scared
because
to
the truth
discuss
is
what's
in here. That's
necessary.
why.
Yeah, you can't be scared. You can't be talking black power one moment and then the next minute you talk
She
about,
running.
well, shut up before the FBI get on to us. And that, hey, that's some old school news right there. It ain't nothing that
Ain't
they don't
nobody
know
scared,
about us
man.
already.
Two
That's
people
right.
can
Ain't
be
nobody
right. Now
scared.
And that's what I'm talking about. We got a
Bro,
new
we
breed.
need
We got a
need to spread
new
out, bro.
generation. We got a new
Right.
generation that's in place right now. Ain't nobody thinking about the FBI, and they need to be challenged. All of them need to be challenged.
Right, bro. We got, bro. With all the spending power we got, bro, we can spread our wealth around, not giving it away, but we can use that to go into other, you know what I'm saying, other countries or other industries and empower ourselves, man, and have people under our wing. But we can have influence. We already have influence with just our music, but we
And we can
really
also
powerful
start with
people.
the import exporting and stuff like that can start. And that's where we can
Do
build our
all of
business
that,
and
man.
economic alliance where we can start importing, exporting products in and out of the nation that will help us build our generational wealth.
All
But see,
y'all right.
Fact.
Listen.
yeah,
All
that's
y'all
fact.
saying
That's
some
truth and
real
fact.
stuff. All y'all
When we
saying
stay
Man,
some real
here,
listen,
stuff.
we gonna be strapped, man. When we stay here. You
listen,
gotta
man.
you know what I'm saying, get out of this booby trap land right here, man.
Hey,
Right.
do
Can't
y'all remember? Do y'all remember when Farrakhan was about to get $1 billion from Gaddafi? What happened? What happened to that
man,
money?
man, Farrakhan sold out, man.
No,
Everybody
I'm
know
just
that.
saying. But at that time, what
Yeah, they
happened
blocked
when
it.
they
Yeah,
say
they blocked his
they
money.
blocked it?
Yeah, they blocked it.
Exactly. So what you think they gonna do about everything else about trying to get money and trying to move to different countries? I don't understand where you're
You
coming
can
from,
have
brother.
dual
I really.
citizenship. Dual citizenship, bro.
So we going So you saying that? Do you know who
You
the
don't
you
even
know who
have
the
to have
Philippines?
dual citizenship, bro.
But
You can
the
get you
listen,
go ahead,
man.
bro.
Listen. Do you know the United States is allies with the Philippines?
That's one. Yeah, bro, they everywhere. What do you mean? They everywhere in the world.
Exactly. So
It's
we
a
got to play.
system.
Yeah. So we got to play the game first before anybody gets mad and want to go to the next step. You can't just jump
What
off
you
and
mean
say,
get mad and go to the next step, bro?
I'm saying what you're talking about is a revolution right now. Basically, that's what you're saying.
Man, I
And I don't
mean,
think
I
that.
agree with
I
my
don't. Wait.
brother
Hold on,
brought the
brother.
word
Hold on, brother. Hold
revolution
on.
up.
Hold
He
on.
brought that
Hold
up.
on.
I agree with him.
But hold on. We can't start like that. That's not how we gonna start. Because in order for something like that to happen,
I think you misunderstood me, man. I think you're talking about somebody else.
I don't know who was talking about. Let's just
I'm
take it.
talking
Let's just.
about innocent stuff like growing your own
You was talking
food.
about this vote stuff ain't going
Having your own
voting.
water, you know what I'm saying, source. You know what I'm saying, having, building your own house, having your own property and all of that, employing your
Well,
people, taking the wood and building
let me just say this.
basics, bro.
Yeah. But where you think we living at right now? Do you think this is a plantation we living in right
That's
now?
Yeah, it's a big ass plantation for
That's
for
right.
everybody.
That's right. So you know what a plantation means, right? So if we living
Definitely.
in a plantation, right now, what do you think we should do? Just start off with a revolution right now?
Well,
Right
that's what it
now.
may
Bro,
take.
why
It
you
might it
keep
might
put,
It
just
may
take that.
take that.
It might just
It
take
may
that because
take
you know
that.
what?
I didn't
As
say
being
that. I didn't say
self-determined,
I'm not I
as
said
being
we need to
self-determined, you
spread
state your
out, bro.
demands. You state your demands, and if your demands
Right.
can't be met, then you draw the line in the
Exactly.
sand, and then you move towards more of a
That's
higher
right.
level of
That's
Bro,
right.
revolution.
That's right. That's
OG, but
right.
he keep trying to corner us to one specific point. I definitely said that we can demand our own space and grow up, you know what I'm saying, and grow our own, try to self-govern ourselves, police ourselves, but we could also spread out and ally with other countries, other blacks, other people like the Somalians y'all was talking about, how they got another underclass of black people. They got two demographic of blacks over there. Those really are those really the people that people need to be networked. It's a lot of those people in pockets around the world. You know what I'm saying? Clearly these Somalians ain't for us. But you know what I'm saying?
Hey, but that's part
They
of the
have
reparation
another
talk, though.
demographic.
But that's
Bro,
part of the
listen.
reparations talk that we doing right now. That's what
And
we're
that's
trying to do.
and that's a discussion for a little bit later in the movement itself.
We
Yeah, we
hey,
definitely need to concentrate
basically,
on what we concentrate on
base,
ourselves right now here in America. That's where we
right.
start. It
Basically,
starts at home.
yeah. Hold
Definitely,
on.
bro. But listen,
Basically,
you can go
but
further in other places, bro. I'm trying to tell you that right now. I'm
I
telling you that
understand
right
that, but what
now.
I'm saying right now, we trying to get exactly what the red man got. We trying to get that first. If we can't,
Listen. Why you
hey,
want
wait,
what he
hold
got?
on,
That's what's going to destroy you.
hold on a second,
You
because
can't
that's an
eat his diet.
example.
You can't do
Hold
nothing
on,
like him. You
man, I
go
can't
get
even
the
get nothing
money from
out,
other
bro.
places and then come back, bro.
Listen,
That's what I'm telling you.
listen. All I'm saying is that's what we're trying to get right now. We're trying to organize to that. That is an example of reparations that the government has given out already. So we're trying to get that right now. If our demands are not met, it may come to other levels of this shit that kind of like what you're talking
But bro,
about.
we don't
Yeah, for
sit
sure.
around
It's
and get
levels
one
to it.
thing.
It's
But
levels to the game.
You could chew bubble gum and walk at the same time, man.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying that we need to start somewhere, and I think we're in a great position where we're starting right now. We ain't the only ones talking about this. There's probably thousands of panels right now talking about the same thing we talking about in different
And
aspects.
again, we have options right now in 2025. We have a government that we can. It's already been in operation since 1967. It's the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, where it already has identified 5 southern states to have black people relocate to. Wherever you are at in the United States, if we occupy these land territories, that means you have the opportunity to take over the congressional seats that are in these states. And even if it gets to a point to where you feel like your revolution need to level up, then we can petition to even depart away from the United States government, which has not been great to us at all since the time our ancestors landed here.
Exactly. And that's what the red man's got right now. They got the same thing. They ain't even in the government. They ain't even dealing with that shit. And we smart and we genius about ours, and we can do our own thing. Just imagine what we can do better than what the red man done. You know what I'm saying? So we just need to start where we at right now and continue to grow in this space, and everything that's gonna come thereafter is gonna come thereafter. You know, if
Well,
that's the thing. If
we don't own
our
nothing,
demands
bro. We
ain't
don't
met,
own nothing.
if our demands ain't met, then we take it to the next level.
Well, we got a GDP that can help us get our demands stated. And I also.
But we're not organized for that right now. We ain't organized for that right now.
I had to mute both of y'all. Now hold on. This is what we want to say though. The Black Panther Party, did the Black Panther Party get into politics? They didn't have to. So I understand what some of y'all saying is, oh, we need to get in these seats. But just like how y'all spoke about reparations, if we don't get it, we still got to have a plan. Just like with the politics, we still got to have a plan outside of politics. We can't have all our eggs in one basket, in my opinion. You feel me? And I agree. What Dave's saying with that. What he's saying is, look, we can't just keep asking people to get into their seats and trying to get into their system. We got to have another angle where we coming at them too.
For sure. And that's where the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa to separate as our own party, we can make that happen in this day and time. And if black people are given the option to do so, I guarantee you that they'll play into it just like any other political organization that's been established. And that'll give the United States Democrats and the Republicans a rally. And that
but
way,
Africa's not even organized though. They're not organized themselves.
Everybody not gonna wake up at the same time, man. It's gonna take a few. Most people.
Come on, man. That's fantasy talk, man.
That's the political party's name. It's New Africans because we are basically New African people. And the Republican,
man, come on, man.
But I tell you, but let me tell you this to understand the history of it. I would ask all of you to go look up the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa and see how it's founded. It's a political party that was founded here in the United States. It ain't got nothing to do with Africa. It has to do with foundation.
Well, then you need to change the name then, because it ain't gonna go far.
Well, that's something we might have to do, but it's already been in place. But it's connected to what's called the Code of Umoja, MOJA, Code of Umoja, which is the actual, which is actually a proclamation, same as the Constitution, is made up exactly what black people need as a part of those 5 states that has been identified here in the U.S. to form that new republic that we need. I would say I ain't never
heard of this. I ain't never heard of this.
Yeah,
I don't think too many people online ain't heard of this either, man.
No, but I would say I'm just saying for educational purposes, just look it up. It's the Republic of the Provisional Government of the Republic of New Africa, and look up the Code of Umoja, which is attached to that. That's the starting point.
Pan-Africanism, though, bro. That's Pan-Africanism. We're not going for that anymore.
No, it's not. It's not Pan-Africanism. If you look it up, you'll see it's. If you look it up, it's geared more towards black nationalism. If you look up the information,
man, we can't trust none of them cats in the past, man. They all bought and sold.
Man, you taking this in a whole nother direction, man. I don't think that's gonna fly, yo.
Because the black nationalists was the ones who put up the idea of what we need for reparations. So you can't deny them that. You cannot deny that.
Okay, well, check this out. Check this out. Hey, check this out. We got millions right now on this FBA stuff right now. This is the energy and the space that we in. What you talking about is taking us on a whole nother direction, brother. It's either like you stay with us and let us organically come together like it's doing right now, or you could just do your own thing, build that up, and we'll meet you in the middle somewhere.
Well, I'm just saying the policies that were set forth, the policies that were set forth for that, we can actually use that because you don't have to. You don't necessarily have to use the same platform as white America did forming their constitution. That's the whole purpose of that to identify that.
Bro, but ain't millions of people right now ain't on what you own right now. They ain't with that right now. They're not going in that direction.
The new Black Panthers are, and you got the provisional government, which is still in place right now. The provisional government of the Republic of New Africa still been in place since 1967. You know, and then you got all the grassroots organizations that are attached to that organization alone. It's more than 200 organizations outside of that are connected to that have drawn out the guidelines and the principles of that was founded on the original Black Panthers.
Okay. Well, then how come we ain't heard of this then? How come I ain't heard this? You the only person I heard this from. Wait, hold on a second. Out of the many spaces that I done been in, the many panels that I didn't heard, I've never heard this. Why is that?
Never too late to learn, brother. And that's why I say
I'm not saying information.
I'm giving you the
Okay, I
information
understand
to
that.
look
I
up
understand
yourself.
that.
Look it up on the
Listen,
internet. It's been there
listen.
since
I understand that.
1967.
I understand all that, man. What I'm saying to you is,
Yeah, I think that was like
we
in
got
Alabama somewhere,
yeah,
if
we
I'm
got
not
millions of
mistaken.
people on this FBA stuff, man. And you talking about something I never heard anyone talk about, and you coming in here talking like this, and you confusing me, man, because you like, man, this is what we need to do. We need to do this from 1967 and the Black Panther and the
No,
new
I'm
Black.
not saying that. I can say we can learn from
I'm
that information that's already been in
okay, but
place.
right now, what we doing right now, we ain't on that. We ain't on that
Well,
right now.
FBA is only 6 or 7 years old, and how do you think you're gonna come up over some people that's already had put
Say
in plans
what?
and
Okay,
guidelines in
so
place?
wait. So if your organization that you're talking about has been around since 1967 or whatever the dates you were saying, how come that ain't took the lead and every these
Hold on,
millions
bro.
of FBAs ain't on that?
FBA is way older than 7 years. It's the bloodline, my man. It's a
Okay, I'm
heritage.
not talking about that. I'm talking about
No, I'm
how
talking
come
about the
how
movement
come
itself. You didn't hear
what
anything about FBA until about 6 or 7
no,
years
but what
ago
I'm
from
saying
Tariq
is,
Rashad.
listen. All I'm saying is, how come these millions of people that's on the FBA right now, how come they ain't went to your side of what you talking about, and that became these millions of people that's on the
Bro,
same.
we ain't all monolith. You just said it yourself. You're gonna have to do your thing and then meet us in
Yeah,
the
you do
middle.
your
We
research.
not
Do your research, brother. I'm not trying to push this off on you. I'm just relaying the information so you can dig a little
we
deeper and learn about it. Just like we got Dr. Cloyd Anderson right here facing
yeah.
center. This brother been around for years. He's been a dynamic leader in both politics and economics and trying to carve out a platform. If you was to approach him and say, hey, brother, do you know about this organization? He gonna tell you, yeah, most likely, because he's the ones, those are the folks that came up in the 60s and the 70s that were able to identify these platforms in order for our young generation today to take advantage of some type of blueprint. We can't be so ignorant to
Man.
where we can't be so ignorant and ground into stone to where you can't see ideas and ideology from other people. And that's
Listen,
about
this
it.
is
That's
what he
about the
said.
social movement.
I
Right.
don't
So
know. I
check.
don't know about that, man. I don't know
Right.
about that
Look,
right now.
I got
I
you.
don't know
Listen, I
about that
got
right now. I
right.
think
Look,
organically we in the right space right now. I don't think we need to
listen.
be going off track right now into
And
something
look,
that a lot of people
I'm
don't
with
know
you.
about. You know what I'm
And I'm
saying?
with you. Now, brother Eugene.
Hey Rob, we can
What's
barely
going.
hear you, Rob. Hey Rob
Got you.
trying to talk. We could barely hear
Hold on.
you.
Okay, let me mute him. So listen.
Your
I
mic, you
get
need to turn
what
your
brother.
mic up.
Yeah, I get what. Let me turn my mic up. I get what brother Eugene trying to say, right? I mean, not brother Eugene, but double O's. But listen, this is what he's saying. We got a new movement, right? We got a new movement. I mean, double O was trying to say we got a new youth movement. So it's like when you trying to tag us to something, we really exposing a lot of stuff that we seeing that it's not passing the smell test. So when you telling us about something that's from back for us to like join in, it's like I think this movement, what we got, is so strong that you got to bring that on to what FBA is doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Instead of us
and I'm not pushing it off on anybody. I said just use it as a blueprint that's been in place. And if there's a blueprint that has not been put in place for FBA, then that's certainly something that you can look at yourselves and say, hey, you know what? We can use bits and pieces of this. We can use bits and pieces from the Black Panthers and all that. It's like a learning experience. You learn from your past so you can carve out your future. See, I think that's one thing that the young generation forget. You forget there's been people already in the struggle, especially if you've just been born in the 1980s, the 2000s, and coming up right now in the past
what do they call it?
20,
Millennium? Yeah, we the
20
millennium. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's people that's already been in the struggle, brother. And I'm
Right.
not saying that. I'm not saying this to knock nothing against the FBA's movement because hey, I think it's a dynamic movement for your
Hey, have you
generation.
ever been on? Have you ever been on Tariq's show to introduce this talking point that you got right now? Have you talked to him personally about it?
Well, I myself and Dr. Umar, we both belong to the political economic think tank that I told you about. But also we have very
But
conscientious,
I'm asking
dynamic
you.
brothers and
But I'm
sisters.
asking you. Listen,
Who is
listen.
Tariq,
And
man? Tariq ain't, man, he ain't gotta run
no,
shit
no,
through
I'm
no
just
damn
saying. But
Tariq.
there's a lot of brothers and sisters on there. That's not just Tariq, but there's a lot of brothers and sisters that's in this space that's talking the way we talking right now. So I'm
Yeah, for
asking
sure.
you. But I'm asking you, how
I
come
went to the
you?
rally. I went to the rally that they had in
Okay,
Washington
I
D.C. a
understand
few
that.
years
I
ago. So
understand that.
I know what's
I
going on
understand
with
that.
it.
I understand that, but I've listened to Tariq sometimes, and I listen to Dan and all the other people that be on these panels, and I've never heard you come on the space and even talk about this. Not to say that Tariq. Listen. Not to say that Tariq is the leader of it, because he say he ain't. But I'm just saying, as far as a lot of FBAs coming in there to get new information, to know what's kind of like what's going on. I've never heard you come onto his spaces and even talk about this.
Well, I'm on plenty platforms, brother, and I'm on plenty committees that are geared towards this struggle that we're in, as this Black Power movement that we're in. And you can go online and look me up, Brother Eugene Talford, and you will see my lineage and my history being in the struggle since the 1980s. That's when I come in around Rodney King beating. I'm talking about when black people were getting beat down for real. Y'all got it easy right now. Y'all generation, y'all know what it is to be fucked up in the neighborhoods and stuff. You know, coming from
called yourself a Pan-Africanist?
Hold on.
Well,
Wait a minute. Eugene Talford, is that your name?
Yes, that's correct.
And you working for the Nigerian government?
Well, I've been.
I thought I heard that, man.
Let me tell you.
See, man.
Let me say this.
I heard that.
Yeah, let me say this. As a political activist, I had been offered the position under the current president to be the ambassador for African Americans to be able to do business as well as trade concepts, ideas, and intellectual properties from the African American identity. So when you talk about being in the global arena, politics and economics are part of the global arena itself.
Hey Eugene. Hey, as you talk, look at the chat. Look at the chat. Look what's going on in the chat as you talk.
They're not organized. So there's no
I'm not saying about organized. I'm talking about just listening, just reading what people are saying, what you talking about.
So,
I feel that Pan-Africanism been around for a very long time, and I don't think it's going anywhere. But at the same time, I am Foundation Black
FBAs
America.
ain't on that. FBAs ain't on the Pan-Africanist.
Right.
They ain't on it, yo.
I feel like
jokers are bought by the white man. They sold out.
No,
I can see if there was some Africans that would be down with them.
Yeah, but as a Black American, you can be Black Nationalist, Foundation Black America, and Pan-Africans all in one. Because at the end of the day, it's making a global stance against the oppressor.
Come on, man. Come on, Eugene.
Paid for it, man.
I ain't been bought and paid for, brother. But as you can see, I've been a businessman in my community. I've been supporting my community for a very long time with job creation and development, and I've done some extraordinary things that a lot of Black people. I ain't got to be standing front and center to tell people what I do. But
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people you just mentioned.
Well, those folks I do business with. Those folks I have sense enough to know how to keep the money coming into my business organization, because you got to separate the business from the politics.
It's part of their agreement when they come over here. They can't deal with Black Americans.
Well, not all of them. Not all of them, because Africa.
They tell them that even at the airport. My roommate told me.
Hey, look, brother. Africa consists of 54 nations. Africa consists of 54 nations, and all of them don't think alike, and all of them don't get along.
The government tell them what to think, bro. They have to take class training for this.
And some of them come here and take advantage of what white America has told them about to stay away from Black people in America, because they too come from a colonized mind.
Brother, we not Pan-Africans, yo.
Well,
we're not doing Pan-Africans, yo. We're not doing that. That's not what we own.
I'm not pushing Pan-Africanism on you.
Yes, you is. You was just.
I'm not, brother.
Yes, you is.
I'm saying Foundation Black America, because what I do business wise don't have nothing to do with my politics. So I keep the money flowing in my community. I keep my people working.
FBA's a lineage, dog.
And I employ Foundation, and I employ FBA also. I employ.
Let Corey go. All right, Corey, go ahead, Corey.
I just want to say, because you said
in South America.
Let Corey cook, man.
Go ahead, Corey. All right, so the dude,
Chef Corey.
He posted his name, right? And then we saw he's working for the Nigerians. Now he's coming with this 1960s, 1970s Black nationalism shit. And we already talked about that. This is a youth movement. It's a political movement. And there's an ideology. Okay.
I'm not knocking that, brother, because I give you back.
Damn, the man can't talk.
The whole time,
Let him
sir.
go,
You've
bro.
been speaking the whole time, sir, respectfully.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so it's a youth-led movement. We understand that you want to get credit and you've been doing things in the civil rights era and all that. We understand that, and you want to move that forward.
Well, my area is the Black Power.
Damn. Let the brother talk, man. Let the brother talk, man.
Go ahead, Corey.
All right. I'm just saying, man, when you start telling me you're collaborating with Nigerians and Africans, and we're telling you we don't want to work with them, we want to distinguish ourselves from them. That's the whole point. That's one of the major points, is that we're saying, listen, this is separate. It's a separate continuity. They can have Africa, stay over there in Africa, or go to the UK, do whatever you want to do, but you can't come over here and keep pretending to be us. That's the crux of the issue. You come over here, you pretend to be us, you cosplay as us politically, you use our social and political capital, you get the economic capital, you're going overseas to Asia and these other places, and you're pretending to be us, and you're not us. You don't have the same history, you don't have the same fights, you don't have the same victories. We've been to Africa, brother. I just told you I've been to Africa. I lived in Africa from August 2024 to August 2025. I've been to Kenya, I've been to East Africa, all up and down East Africa. I've been all up and down Namibia and South Africa. Three of the biggest.
And so have I, brother. And so have I. And so have I.
Let me finish, sir, please. I'm 32. I'm not 60, so I have a different perspective. I was in the military. I was in the Air Force for 10 years. I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled veteran. Okay? Well on my way to 100%. What I'm trying to get you to understand is when it comes to organizing societies, Africans can't do it. When you go to Africa and you see how they live, there's other people that are non-African that are managing their societies and controlling their societies for them. It doesn't make any sense for us to link up with people who can't build up they got ample land, they got ample resources, they got ample people, and they can't fucking organize. They can't build streetlights. They don't have sewage systems. They don't have zip codes.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. But I think you.
I'll let you talk. Let me finish, please, sir. Please.
Go ahead.
We've been listening to you guys pontificate all night. Let somebody else speak, please. Okay. The Africans don't have it. When you go over there as a Black American, they're looking to take from you. They're looking to benefit from you. Everything that the culture is about benefiting. It's about scamming. It don't have nothing to do with organizing. This whole idea of getting with people just because they got the same skin color. Because when I looked at the picture, you with these Nigerians, you don't look nothing like them. You look like one of us.
Yeah, I am, because I'm FBA. But you know what? Exactly. That don't limit me how I get my money though.
Right,
and that ain't got nothing to do with how I go get my. Because when I go over there, when I go overseas, I'm going overseas to get opportunity. I'm going overseas to make money. I ain't going over there to be in the bed with them and saying, hey, are you Black or not? I'm not going over there for none of that. I'm not going over there trying to tell them how to run their political government.
He's still talking, man. The brother's still talking, bro.
I'm letting him go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
The confusion is most of our people have not left America. Okay, a large percentage of our people have not left America yet. So they don't see how the global South operates culturally. The global South has a scamming, undermining culture. If they had any cojones, then when they came to America, they would have allied with us in the first place, the people who they emulate so goddamn much. But they didn't do that because they're morally bankrupt inherently. It's part of their culture to be morally bankrupt and to undermine each other. They got these different treaties with the Europeans, which is why they were able to be colonized in the first place. They opened the back door against their own people, and now you telling me I got to align with them same people to come over here and do it to us? That shit is out. It's out. I'm not going to collaborate with people who collaborate with their oppressors. That's what the Africans are doing right now. That's what the Asians are doing. It's what the Latinos are doing. We can't do that.
And the Russians.
We cannot do that. We're in a struggle for survival. And if you want to survive, you can't have hostile people coming in the goddamn Trojan horse trying to undermine us. That's all they do is undermine each other.
And I'm not saying that they don't do that, but you know what? People get over on you if you allow them to. And all the Africans over there, like I say, Africa consists of 54 nations. Ain't all of them the same. Just like all African Americans are not the same.
Eugene, we've been talking about FBA all this time. I was listening for a while. You came in here and you start talking this Pan-African Nigerian stuff. You threw everything off, brother. You shouldn't even have came on.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You threw everything off,
Black
man.
American since I'm foundation.
But I'm
Black
saying
American.
I understand that. But you threw
my ancestors been here since 18.
I understand that, but you threw,
brother.
All right, brother.
Right,
but you threw the whole.
Right. But check it. Why do Pan-Africanists hate FBA? Why don't they not like what we doing? I want y'all to answer that, but
I don't think they don't like what we doing because I think a lot of the Africans are on tribalism in African American, Black Americans, we don't have tribalism. But a lot of them, like I said earlier, they don't even identify with what Black is, because their experience is very different from ours. So when they come here, you got Black people from Ghana. They'll say, "Hey man, you a Black man." They say, "No, I'm not Black, and I'm Ghana," because they associate themselves with the nation that they're from. But
hold on, I had to mute you.
You also have to realize
no, but listen. People who are Pan-Africanists, they don't mess with FBA. They don't like what we doing over here. They say
that's not true. That's not true.
It is true. We done been over there. It is true. They're
No, it's not, brother. That is not true. You trying to say Pan-Africans only exist in Africa? Pan-Africans exist all worldwide. It's worldwide. Pan-African people, Pan-Africans.
The ones in America. I'm talking about the ones in America who be claiming that Pan-Africans, like your Dr. Umar and your think tank and the other Pan-Africanists that talk about FBA.
Listen, Water God, can I say something real quick?
Go
ahead, brother.
I had just posted in the chat. Okay, I just Googled Mr. Talford's name. I just posted it in the chat. Okay, if you could just pull that up. Listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's information that is already in public record. Obviously, you put it out. What I want to say is people like Dr. Smalls and Mr. Talford here, they have a older mentality. They're kind of still stuck in the 1950s and 60s in terms of this Pan-Africanism thing. You have to go and look at people, how they survive as a culture, the spirit and the morality of the culture. That's what you have to do. You have to spend time.
But that don't make us no less Blacker than nobody else, brother. That don't make us no less Blacker or no less.
Black kind of causing confusion. You're not letting people finish, please, sir. Please, just let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
Okay. Until you go over somewhere and you see how people live, the food that they eat, how they speak to each other, how they interact. Most of Africa is in squalor. Out of the 54 countries, the countries that are doing this is why I don't talk this emotional shit. I talk geopolitical reality. I talk economics. The reality of the situation is the top countries in Africa are not managed by Black Africans. They are managed by foreigners to Africa. Okay. South Africa is managed by Caucasians, by Indians, and Jewish people. Okay. Namibia, Afrikaners. Kenya, Europeans, Indians. None of these countries that you're talking about are managed by Black Africans. Their whole thing is to come over here and pretend to be us so that they can live better material lives. Africans and Americans, we're not compatible because they're 200 years behind us developmentally speaking. And when I say developmentally, I mean society. And then I also mean their mindsets, their cultures. They're still talking about tribes. It's 2025, and these niggas are still talking about tribes. They're trading calves.
Word.
Doing that. Nobody in the West, in the developed world, does that anymore. So they're 200 to 300 years behind us, chronologically speaking. So you can't expect me to unite with somebody who's 200 years behind me, and then he's jealous because he thinks we look alike, and he's supposed to have what I got. You can't tell me to do that. That is I have sisters, I have brothers, I have a family. Okay, we die for this soil. I'm not gonna have a foreigner come here and tell me he's the same as me.
Well, it's plenty of them feel the same way about you, brother. They don't want you there neither.
But we're not trying to.
Yeah, but I've lived over there too, and I'm going to tell you this as well. A lot of times when I'm going over there, they don't treat me bad. And I don't see the dislike. Man,
there's plenty of stories online to counter that one, man.
Well, that's online, but you also got to know that AI exists now too.
No, there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories of people getting messed up over there, man.
I do know that. I know that.
Don't front like it don't exist. Don't front like it don't exist, yo.
There's a lot of Black people getting messed up right here too at more higher levels than.
But it ain't us. It ain't us. It ain't us. It may be the government, but it ain't us.
You ain't
got genocides going on over there based off religion.
We got a genocide going on right here in America with white America. What you think? What's happening?
We're a different race. They're Black. Everybody over there is Black, and they're committing genocide on other Black people. The people committing genocide on us are not Black. It's a different race. It's the same race over there.
No, brother, we killing each other also, brother. I think we gotta be conscious about that too. We gotta be conscious and real. We got to be realistic. Yeah, we got plenty of weapons over here, brother. We killing each other.
I mean to say weapon. Listen, we ain't got no military, bro. Everything what we said, we still don't have a military. So everything is gonna come in.
It's enough of us together. We can have our own military,
bro.
There's enough of us together in America that we can have our own military.
Listen.
Eugene, you throwing everything off, man.
They got
You
dual
throwing
power,
everything
man.
off, man.
They got the most powerful lasers and all of that shit. Listen, we have to spread consciousness, bro, around the world. That's it. That's what's gonna have to happen. Because we don't have a military.
You
Well, that's
throwing
where you
everything
get
off,
people with
Eugene.
And
allies. That's how you build your allies. You build your
They
allies to
wasn't even
get
on
people
that,
to
bro,
man.
this
get
whole
those
world,
materials.
since this white man has become the power,
It's the same thing.
We already know what we got going. We already know what's happening over here, man. We understand it.
Gene, this man has created colorism all around the world, the globe, bro.
Well, I'm a globe trotter, so I travel a lot, and I see a lot of people, and I know a lot of different types of politics
Listen.
outside the United States, brother. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, but they need to get their work. They need to get their stuff together. We trying to do our own thing. We trying to get our stuff together, man.
And I agree with
When
that.
it comes together,
I agree with that.
it comes together, man. Right now it's separate. We doing our own thing over here, man.
And
Let
I
them
agree
do
with
their
that. And I'm
thing.
right along with you with
Listen,
that,
listen,
brother.
listen,
I'm
listen,
right along
listen.
with
Let
you
them.
with that.
Yeah,
go ahead, brother.
I'm muting y'all. Hold on. Eugene, you need to drop some of that bag the FBA in, man. You need to, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and pay some tithes, brother. You getting all that international money.
Well, I've been trying to school y'all. I don't need to get jumped on. That's what I say. I've been supporting my community for about 30 years now, brother. And all the people who work for me, they doing very well. And most of them are Foundation Black Americans, with exceptions of a few, which may be Hispanic and some other culture.
We talking about working with. We talking about sending that
Yeah, you
check.
talking about working for them, big eyes and little U's and shit. What the
Yeah,
hell?
well, you gotta learn somewhere, brother. Because if you want to learn the business, you gotta learn from somebody. You can't go in just knowing like you're gonna go in and run a corporation without knowing the ins and outs of it.
This is the problem with this European setup, man. It's big. It's a caste system, man.
Well,
That's the
capitalism
problem.
is always going to be
That's
there,
why
brother.
we
It
don't
ain't
need the
going nowhere.
bullshit. That's
It
why we
ain't
don't
going
need it.
nowhere. It ain't
That's
going
why we
nowhere.
don't need it, bro.
It's
Like
all
I said,
necessary.
man, like I
All
told
of
you,
that
you
is
talking about weapons and shit like that in military. Listen, man, they gun is that physical gun that, you know, that laser and all that. Our gun is between our legs, man. That, bro, they say you don't have enough. We don't believe you. You need more people, bro. We ain't got enough, bro. We gotta get the numbers back in our favor over here,
Yeah,
man.
well, like I said, there's 43 million black people living in America right now. We can make that happen. It ain't no rocket science to that.
All right, man.
40.
All right, brother Eugene, bro. We out with that, man. We finna get back to. We appreciate you for tapping in, though.
And let me go and shut down. I got a flight in the morning.
Yeah, man. We got 5 more minutes. I want to let
Okay, I go.
everybody close it out with whatever they wanted to get on. But Double O, man, we appreciate you for tapping in. I want y'all boys to close it out. What he said, he making my head hurt. How y'all want to close it out, man? Corey, go ahead and what you got for us? Listen, the topics we talked on was supposed to get on the 1.7 trillion. It kind of went left, but we were saying what we could do with the 1.7 trillion. That was the real topic, and we were talking about reparations. So yeah, man, it's a great bill. We just, you know, we're gonna keep building, but I'm gonna let y'all two boys, what y'all think about, you know, the convo. Y'all can wrap it up before we you know, close out. I see y'all in the chat. Salute. Go ahead, Double O. Oh, okay. Well, Corey, go ahead, man. Double O, add it up.
You hear me? Can I be heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So notice how when we have these conversations, you got dudes from the 1980 Black nationalist movements coming in, you got the Pan-African coming in, you got the actual Africans coming in. Notice how like you were on a specific topic and then it just went left and we start talking about revolution and power and that's, first of all, to me, when somebody gets online and we're trying to talk about something productive and people start talking about having a revolution and we need to overthrow this person and that person, that to me is like controlled opposition. That seems like COINTELPRO talk. You know what I'm saying, I don't know what your thought is on that, but yeah, that's you know, to me it's because it doesn't really lead to anything fruitful. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you put the information out there, but then we look into your background and your work. You have monies invested in Africa, right? You have organizations that's invested in Africa. So you're trying to get us to move from what we're talking about onto some African shit, right? And we've already explained time and time again. Listen, we're not looking to be African. We're looking to be we're something else. what I'm saying? We're completely different. We're entitled to reparations. We're entitled to reparations in America based off of the history and the contribution of our ancestors to this country. Period. Point blank. Period. It's not about linking up with people just because they're black. If they want reparations or whatever they need, they have to petition their governments to petition the Europeans. They got to stop coming over here trying to muddy up the waters and add confusion. And that's really all I got to say, man. That's just, that's it.
Salute. Appreciate you, whoever tapping in, man. Double O, man, you want to close them out? What you think? You was with the positive talk. Double O, you there? Double O agent.
Yeah, I'm here. I had the mic. The mic was muted. Yeah, no, Corey handled that well, man. I'm not as astute as Corey is, but Corey handled it. I just hate the vibe that Eugene put on what we was already on, and it just kind of like, like you said, it went left, man. I don't think that was the right. It was just bad energy, man. We on the web right now. We got a lot of people listening, not just in the chat, but we got other people listening. So we can't be talking crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just irresponsible overall. And we just need to stay where we at, stay in our lane and just move forward, man. Where we going naturally. It's just going to happen naturally. We don't need to hear all this revolution talk as of right now. If it come to that, in years to come or whatever, then it comes to that. But right now, we staying positive, we staying in positive energy, and we just need to keep moving forward the way we're doing it naturally. That's all I got to say. And big ups to Corey, man. He handled that situation very well. I appreciate Corey doing that.
Salute. Yeah, that was a time wasting. That was a whole time wasting operation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The first tether that came in, and the first tether that came in, now we got RGB tethers coming in, and then you Google the name, and he's linked up with Babatunde.
Yeah,
we gotta be careful about. Yeah, we gotta be careful, man, about some of these people coming into spaces like that. Just gotta be very careful because they throwing the whole energy off.
Yeah, we got more mods coming, and we're gonna try to, educate people, but at the same time, we got to keep our safe space where we give out our messages and handle our business. So, man, I appreciate everybody for tapping in, though, man, for joining this conversation. These are tough conversations to have, for real.
Water God, I just want you to stay focused on the caucus, because I remember I did a little text in the chat one time. And I was telling you, to stay focused and let the channel grow, because everybody doing their spaces and doing different subjects. You stay focused on where you at, because where you at right now is gonna come into play by 2026. It's gonna be hot. So you stand where you at right now with the Black Caucus, because that's basically what we need to tackle and get the people in place that we need, to tack along with the reparations. So you in an important, pertinent place right now with the caucus talk, for sure.
I gotta do my due. I gotta do my due. For the coach, I gotta stand on the business. I appreciate that too, because I've been.
You there, man. You there. It's your channel. I saw your channel when I made that little chat statement to you. That was like a couple days ago, maybe 3 days ago. And here I am now. I don't even do panels like this. I'm not well versed in this. I just know where I stand and where I see what's going on, and the energy is positive. And I just like you to stay where you at, because your position of your channel is going to be very important when we get to the political, voting season. Yes.
For real, man. And everybody been telling me to stick to the politics, stay on the politics, and that's just kind of where I'm at with it right now. It's FBA and politics about that. So I'm with you, man. I appreciate that.
For sure. I'll be back on. I'll be checking you out every so often, man. And Corey, you need your channel too, man. You know what I'm saying? You need to get up on this too, as well. You know what I'm saying? So we need as many channels and many talks as we can to get this rumbling out there. We're doing a great job right now.
Most definitely. Man,
all right, brothers, I'm out. Salute to you both. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see y'all on the next one.
See you on the next one, brother. I appreciate you. All right, fam. Well, we finna close this one out. Get your DBA for your name. Yeah, man, we finna close this one out, man. I appreciate everybody who supported the chat. Tim, man, for the Cash App. I appreciate you, everybody who tuned in. We're gonna keep conversations like this going. And salute, man. We're gonna be back on here tomorrow, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love.
And energy to be able to survive and compete. Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness. We solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.